Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have new merch out. Yes, we have a new merch line which we wear in this episode, so we're going to show it off. But if you want to get your hands on some of them, go to trashtaste.co. That's trashtaste.co. Enjoy the episode.
You hear about those like giant squids too?
Oh, yeah.
Those are cool though.
Yo, don't tell Japan about those.
It's like,
Yo, do not let...
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Trash Taste. I apparently have forgotten how to speak. Okay, let me do that again. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Trash Taste podcast. I'm your host for today, Gant. With me once again are the boys and treats for you guys because this is another timely episode because
Oh my god.
we have just gotten back from LA for our AX trip and Joey, you've just got back from Vietnam. Well, actually,
Yes.
I don't know how long you were in Vietnam for.
I was in Vietnam for 15 days.
15 days?
Yeah, 2 weeks roughly.
Wow.
So sorry if you missed me at AX. I was busy celebrating my
Yeah,
mom's
that was
birthday.
the number one question was where the fuck is Joey?
Yeah.
Why did he abandon you? Why does he not
Because-
love you?
Sorry, I abandoned the boys because I love my mom more than the boys.
Well, that's...
I can't believe
so
it.
what hot
Actually-
take?
I've chosen Trash Taste over my family so many times, and now suddenly you want to turn your family?
Hot
Yeah,
take,
okay.
my mom is slightly above the boys.
I can't believe it, Joe. I thought we were brothers, Joey. I thought we were fam.
Nah, yeah, but went to Vietnam for 2 weeks and it was hot as balls.
Like hot as balls now.
Like
it
hotter
is-
than here.
Like it is now. It is, as you know, summer in Japan. And our
bro.
AC unit chose today to start being broken. So we are here trying to wear a trash tasting
Yeah,
merch.
You're only
Hold
gonna
on,
see.
hold on,
You're only
hold
gonna
on.
see God and I wearing these for a little bit.
Well, okay, so you clearly want to take them off. So like
Yeah.
you show off the jackets
Okay,
to the
okay.
viewers.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
I'm
because
sure-
these are available right now if you're watching this as it comes out.
Yeah.
Yes,
Check it out.
yes.
Links
On,
They're only available for like 2 more weeks, so
Yep.
get them now while you can.
Yeah.
Because once it's gone, it's gone. We're not bringing it back.
yeah. And that was your shout out
show
for
them
your
off
day.
now. Show them
I'm
off
gonna
now.
reveal that I'm wearing these fucking shorts.
It's summer, okay?
It's hot. But we got jacket right here.
Ooh, okay.
People at AX,
okay.
actually people rocking this a lot. People
Yeah.
love this
How
one,
are they
yeah.
rocking at AX? It must have
Dude,
been hot.
so many people were wearing this one.
But check out this
is-
back
Yeah.
design right here.
Ooh, look at that.
Nice
at
for the
that.
upcoming winter. What do you got there?
going to stand up because I'm wearing other stuff.
You still got the label on, Connor.
Oh yeah,
Connor, you still got the label on.
Just got it today.
looks clean though. Don't worry. And of course,
Yeah.
okay. Well, and Gon of course has the
All right.
amazing jacket. Right
I am so happy because I finally convinced the team to make a denim jacket.
Dude,
this
I
is the most Gant thing I've ever seen in my life. But yeah.
It looks so natural on you. That's clean as fuck. Look at that.
That's nice, dude.
Sheesh.
Dude, the embroidery is so fucking sick.
It is very nice.
We went for a Japanese newsprint kind of style for this AX, but I know that a lot of people were confused whether we were selling this online. We are selling this online. At,
The hood, denim jacket here and the hoodie there as well.
Yeah.
There's other t-shirts too. There's a
T-shirt
ton of
underneath
stuff.
as well.
Yeah.
And get it because this is a fucking sick merch drop. So what are you
Yeah,
waiting for?
yeah.
Links
We
in the description. Get it now.
Yeah, we sold out at AX, so we're opening up online sales. So there you go. You got 2 more weeks to get these while you can.
I don't know if we're gonna do a jean jacket again. Quite frankly, That's
I hope so. I hope so.
I want another one.
I really
I-
like this one. Okay, it's really hot in here, so I'm going to take this off right now.
Yeah, good
Showing off
idea.
that beautiful t-shirt. Oh, Joey, nice t-shirt too.
Thanks, man.
Is there something on the back?
I think so.
There isn't. There isn't. Oh,
there
okay.
isn't.
Okay, that one doesn't. I can't remember if there was or not.
All right,
So-
the front is still popping. That's why.
Yeah, love that one.
But yeah, how's Vietnam, Joe?
Yeah, so as I was saying, it's hot as hell in Japan right now. I mean, we've talked about summer here. We've done entire episodes where we talk
crushing.
about
It's
how
crushing.
crushing the Japanese summer is. I didn't know there was like a Dark Souls level of hotness until I went to Vietnam in the middle of June and
Welcome to
July.
Southeast Asia.
Like I wasn't sweating, I was perspiring. Like
Yeah.
it was
Perspiring?
I
Is
was
that a word?
perspirating.
It was raining.
Perspiring.
Perspiring. It was raining from my face. It was
Okay.
disgusting.
Okay.
Like I'm pretty sure I made like my own cloud system just because of just how
Dude,
fucking sweaty it was.
You should take a Nick Cotto avocado. He's got a little water weight. That's
Dude, it was weird. Like I ate. Okay, so obviously I'm on vacation, right?
Yes,
My
yeah.
whole
Okay.
family's on vacation. So when you're on vacation mode, you don't care about what you eat. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So you
Yeah.
just go
Yeah.
ham on all the food, right? Because I wanted to have the most. It was my first time in Vietnam. I wanted to get all of the authentic Vietnamese
Yeah.
food, right?
Yeah.
Some of it's healthy, of course, and some of it isn't. Well, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just get everything. And somehow, even though I haven't gorged myself that much in, I'd say at least the past 3 or 4 months, I somehow still lost weight.
You're probably walking around a lot.
Because
right?
of,
Yeah.
well, I mean, we went on some hikes, but also I think just during the day, I'm sweating like 10 liters. So, like, legit, like, Nick Ricardo, if you want to lose some weight, bro,
this is not
If
like good actual
go to
advice, by the way.
Vietnam.
I just want to
That is
preface, this
not-
is shit advice.
you,
Yeah,
want to lose that water weight, bro? You'll lose it immediately
Well,
in
even
Vietnam.
when we were in America, like I noticed that like I was walking more on average in America than I was when I'm here in Japan. And I'm
Really?
like, that doesn't, yeah, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
How?
I know,
Wait, how?
Well, because we were doing
the
a lot of.
houses are bigger.
Well, yeah, sorry. Rodrigue's house was huge.
Yeah.
Well, because everything I was doing involved me standing up and walking around, even if it's just like a little bit. Like I was just doing a lot more walking. Like in Japan, when I'm streaming, I'll sit there and I'll look and I'll be like, wow.
Oh, there's your problem.
1,500,
Yeah, you're just-
1,500 steps the whole day, huh? New
Well, this
record.
is what happens when you touch grass. You know, it's
Yeah.
like if you just sit in all day.
That's
we
what
were-
happens when you don't
hold on.
stream.
Yeah.
I was also, we were just doing stuff. I was doing stuff every single day. So I was
Yeah.
always walking every day. Even
Right.
if I was Ubering there, I was then
Yeah.
had to walk. Because like in America, you know, it's actually, you still have to walk a lot. Because you're like, oh, the parking lot is fucking 900 meters long. And you're like, oh shit, okay, well that's 500 steps right there. You know, it's like they sneak it in. You don't realize it. Everything actually is fucking spread out so goddamn much. in
I
America.
think the
Okay.
conclusion from this is that you need to be walking more while you're
Yeah.
in Japan.
No, because I think the
well, yes.
conclusion you can take from this is that Connor
Connor's a
walks
fast.
more in America, but he is a very small percentage of people, the people that
I
stream
work
all
from
day.
home. I work
Yeah.
from home.
Yeah, that work from home and stream all day and do not go outside. If you go to America, then you end up walking more, unless
I'm-
you're in America and you stream all day as well. So
I'm actively trying to not go outside right now, and if I do, it's like the taxi is the buffer. Like I'm getting in there and I'm going because I don't want to be outside. It sucks.
Oh, you would have
Sucks.
hated it in Vietnam. Bro.
Yeah, I would've,
think-
I would've.
I
Yeah.
think the hottest day we had was when I was in Saigon, and it was like 46 degrees,
Fuck that.
and that's not including the humidity.
I'm going to Thailand in winter.
hell yeah.
Or Vietnam in winter
Oh
if
my
I'm
god,
going.
the humidity was just, it was like, I never felt like my life was in danger from heat.
Yeah.
Until I went to Vietnam. Like just stepping outside, not even in the sun, in the shade, right? Because
Right.
the humidity here is bad. But somehow Vietnam was just like, we can get hotter when it comes to humidity. So like there was literally no difference between standing in the sun and standing in the shade. You just
Yeah.
felt like there was a heater attached to your face at all times. And it was disgusting. Oh my god.
I'm surprised because normally, like for Thailand at least, July period is actually like one of the cooler periods because it's rainy.
Really?
It's rainy season in Thailand.
Yeah.
Like the hottest seasons are kind of actually maybe I think of May, but there is a definite hot period. But the best period to go to like Southeast Asia is kind of around like February kind of like period.
Yeah.
in my-
Well, I
in
mean,
my
when we
opinion.
went to Thailand in
great.
January, it was great.
yeah,
great,
that was
yeah.
like
Yeah,
perfect
that was
weather.
perfect.
It's like
Yeah.
actually like nice. You could like breathe and
Yeah.
exist and go outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Great.
But
Yeah, California was great weather too, though.
yeah, California.
It's
We
always
didn't
When
have
is it
a,
not?
We didn't have a heat wave this time. There was no kind of like
It's hot, but then you go in shade and you're like, oh,
yeah.
it's not too bad.
It's bearable.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
for sure.
bearable. But
For sure.
the important question is, did you rent a moped?
See, I really wanted to because
Yeah.
I'd heard about Gaunt's stories of
Yeah.
like riding in a moped and almost dying. And I was
Yeah.
like, I want that near death experience. And I tried, but because I was with my family, I asked my mom. And she was like, well, you know, it's my birthday and I don't want you to die on my birthday.
See, you did the wrong thing. You should have asked for forgiveness, not
Yeah.
permission. You should have.
No, you don't know my mom, bro. I can't ask for forgiveness.
There ain't no
She's an
forgiving.
Asian mom. She never forgets.
You have the Asian mum debuff that's going on a family
that
holiday.
I can't ask for forgiveness. That's
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
thing
yeah.
that happens. Yeah.
I
So,
would-
but like, you know, I was really down. My dad was like kind of down. My sister and my mom were just like, no, I don't want to die. So unfortunately I couldn't, but hopefully next
All
time
right,
I
next
go
time,
back.
boys trip.
If
no mum
we go
debuff.
back if we go back
Yeah.
to Vietnam
I'm
and
not
my
going
mom
there in the
isn't there.
summer. That's what I'm hearing. I'm fuck no.
Oh my god, dude, you would have been like every time
Hell no.
every time I walked past like foreigners who were in Vietnam, because there was like a surprising amount of foreigners during that time of year. I was
Yeah.
like, I thought for sure everyone was going to try and avoid the summer heat, but
Yeah.
there was a lot of people there. I'm like,
Isn't it like, don't they get shit tons of tourists because it's super cheap?
Well, yeah, that too, but
Yeah.
but it's cheap all year round, right?
yeah.
So you'd think you'd try and aim for like January, February time.
I mean,
like
people
you
like
said,
normally like to take summer holidays, you know.
Like Europe, it's like a culture of going on holiday in the summer.
Yeah.
It's like summer's the time.
Oh
you
my
go.
god, yeah! But every time I saw a European tourist, and they look like they wanted to kill themselves. Like they were just like, it never gets hot here. It never gets hot at home like this.
I can't imagine them surviving Southeast Asian summers like that.
Oh my
Holy
god, they
crap.
were not surviving.
Yeah.
bro. it was bad. But other than the heat, everything else was fucking amazing. I went to what is considered to be the best banh mi restaurant, or I guess place in all of Vietnam. It's this place
Right.
in Hoi An that Anthony.
Banh mi's just like they're like the sandwiches.
Like sandwiches,
Yeah.
Vietnamese sandwiches. But apparently this one is the highest rated or the best in all of Vietnam because Anthony Bourdain went to it. And
yes. I need a white man to tell me what the best banh mi is.
no, but it was so weird.
Finally, a white
Yes.
man's opinion.
But
on
it was
this.
so weird because, I found that really weird because I was like, when we were at the hotel in Hoi An, and I was like, oh, we really want to get some
God.
like good Vietnamese food. Where do you
Yeah.
recommend? This full Vietnamese like guy at the front desk was just like, have you ever heard of Anthony Bourdain? he recommended this place in Hoi An.
I wonder if they were like, "Hey, my cousin says this one's the best." They'd be
Yeah.
like, "I don't know who's that? You got a white guy?"
Yeah. No, I was expecting like a super local place, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, no, go to this place that the
my
white man
God.
said
All
was
right.
good.
I don't know, man. I've seen how Gordon Ramsay cooks a pad thai, man. It's I've seen that video and I'm like, okay, highly respected chef cooks Southeast Asian cuisine, and
Yeah.
even like there's a video where Gordon Ramsay goes to this like Thai
Love this
restaurant
video.
and he cooks the pad thai, and the
Yeah.
chef's just, and I remember the first time watching it. I've never had such an Uncle Rogers kind of like reaction to someone cooking my
is not
country's
pad thai.
cuisine. I'm like, this is not pad thai, and thank God the Thai chef, who was very politely said, this is not how we make pad
He
thai
seemed
in
pretty
Thailand.
offended. I don't know. I was just polite. He seemed pretty pissed.
He tried to politely word it, and to be fair to Gordon Ramsay, he did very much, take his advice on how to cook a pad thai. But if Anthony Bourdain says this is the best banh mi restaurant in Vietnam, I'm gonna call sus on that.
Yeah,
So-
it was also really weird because I saw the clip of like the actual episode where he actually went there, just to double
Yeah,
check
yeah.
this was the right place.
Yeah.
Apparently I didn't have to, because the moment I got to this place, in front of it, there's this huge like A3 fucking poster of Anthony Bourdain just like deep throating a banh mi, and right next to it in this like cursive text, it was a quote from Anthony Bourdain, and it and it said, "The best baguette I've ever had." And I thought, has Anthony Bourdain never been to France? Has he never been to Europe? Because I'm not too sure
It
about
was a
that.
mistranslation. They were like, I think he said baguette actually. And they're like,
Yeah.
no, we're a banh mi store. You think he meant to say? No, he said
Yeah,
baguette.
No,
maybe
no.
banh mi in Vietnamese equals baguette. I don't
Yeah.
know, but I was like, okay, you know what? Look, I'll take the benefit of the doubt. I'll go in. To be fair, it was the best banh mi I've ever had.
Yeah.
And we went to a couple of places in Vietnam as well, and obviously outside of
Okay.
Vietnam. And I would say, you know what? He wasn't fully capping,
Yeah.
but I'm sure some Vietnamese, people are going to be like, no, that one's overrated. Go to this one.
There's
Yeah.
definitely got to be some cap.
Of
It's just
course.
like sometimes people come to Japan and then like they've been here like 4 or 5 times. They'll be like, dude, I know like the best spot to eat. And I'm like, okay, tell me. And then they'll just send me something and it'll be like a really well-known restaurant. that is-
Torikizoku.
yeah, it'll be like something that everyone knows about that is just pretty okay. And it's like, this is not a find.
Yeah.
This is you went on Google and typed in sushi restaurant. It's the first one that comes up. Don't
Have you
fucking
ever heard of Ichiran?
yeah. Well,
me
yeah,
take you.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, every ramen pic I see on Twitter is Ichiran, which is fine. You can get Ichiran. I mean, I like Ichiran. It's good, but it's like the McDonald's of Ichiran, right?
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
great.
It's better.
I like it.
Yeah.
It tastes good. We've said this like a million times, but yeah, I'm very skeptical when somebody who visits a place is like, this is the best place here. It's like, you don't know shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but my favorite one though, and that was the other thing I loved about Vietnam is, and obviously this gets memes a lot in like Western countries that have Vietnamese restaurants. It's just like some of them just have the best fucking names for restaurants. I went to this restaurant in Sapa when we did this like 3-day hike in the mountains. Beautiful place, definitely go. But there was just this restaurant right next to our hotel, just called Yummy Restaurant,
Was it
Yummy restaurant.
and I kid you not, it was yummy.
I mean, I see no problem here.
Yeah.
I was
They said
like,
it was
well,
yummy, it was
all
yummy. I
right.
mean, what do you
I mean,
want?
you weren't lying. This was a yummy restaurant. It was just very weird, though, when you look up on Google, and the first thing that comes up is yummy restaurant.
Well, I feel like, I've seen this quite a lot in Thailand, at least, where sometimes if you just want to make your restaurant stand out, if you open a Thai restaurant here in, a foreign country, you want a Thai name to it. But over there, if you just put like a fucking English name, that's what makes it stand out, We don't want the traditional Thai name. We want like the foreign name, the wacky foreign name.
Yeah, of course.
So, it doesn't surprise me that Yummy Restaurant is a name of a restaurant.
I mean, it got my attention.
It's so fucking stupid. I had this thought because when we were in Thailand, I remember seeing all those weird statues. Like they would have like 1-to-1 size statues of like Thor.
Yeah.
And I was like, why don't you just have like a normal ass restaurant, but in front of it, it's just dudes like Captain America being rammed by like Tony Stark or something. Like a 1-to-1 statue. So every fucking Google pic of the restaurant is just a statue of like a copyrighted Disney character just being raw dogged. And so then that way, everyone will want to post about your place. And people are going to go there. And all I have to do is commission a statue of like, maybe like, I don't know.
Just like the most cursed shit imaginable?
It's like it's like Mario like on his knees in front of Luigi. And he's like, I'm doing his pants and it's 1-to-1 scale. And like, that's the picture that everyone
like Kermit,
sees.
like making out with Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, or like Mario and Sonic. Mario and Sonic making out 1-to-1 statue. And like, you can't avoid it because people are going to see it and post about it.
Sure.
And you can do it in these places because nobody's clapping down on these copywriters.
Yeah.
So we should just make a restaurant.
Something similar happened when I was in Hoi An. There was this fucking bar that was like themed around Mr. Bean.
Oh, was he making out with someone?
No.
They didn't see my idea there.
No, I wish.
That's too legit.
Yeah. But it was like the entire bar, like all the drinks, all the food was themed around Mr. Bean. And I'm like, I don't think this got the all clear from Rowan Atkinson.
That's not enough. Right?
Yeah.
You need something like absolutely out there, but that also won't get it shut down. Because I assume there's got to be a limit, right?
Yeah.
But what if
you still want people to come to your restaurant. You don't want to be having like a nice little meal and then you just look and then it's just Mario and Sonic making out and you're just like,
I don't know, man.
I don't know if this is helping my
I would
appetite.
go to that.
So it's like Mario and Sonic making out in front, and then you get in, and then on the roof, it's like 2 Spider-Mans in that one Spider-Man meme where he's like slapping his ass in the bed, but on the roof, and the whole restaurant is just absolutely fucked copyrighted characters just going at it. And that way, everyone wants to come in and see what's going on. And they sit down, and I charge, I rip off all the tourists as well. I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, another thing as well that I noticed about
Someone can steal my
Vietnam
idea.
is that, the concept of happy hour, right?
Yeah.
At like a bar or
always
a
happy.
restaurant,
Yeah.
right? Like normally, what would you say is like the average time of an happy hour?
They scam you. It's like 3 p.m. on a Monday.
Yeah.
Right. But 3 p.m., like usually, right, when you go to like any Western country, happy hour is usually, I don't know, between maybe like 4 and 7, maybe 5 and 7. It's a couple
It's
of
never a
hours.
happy hour.
It's never 7.
Yeah.
7's too not generous. People are going to start drinking.
It stops at like 6 at
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
the latest, I feel.
I saw a restaurant in Saigon, dead ass, right in front of the store, big sign, happy hour, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I'm like, when is it not happy hour?
maybe that should
At that point,
Every hour is happy hour,
at
baby.
that point, just say we have free drinks. Like, just
I
come
think
in.
they're just happy.
I'm like, how happy are you?
We
Fuck
are
me
happy
up.
during these hours because there's not a lot of work.
Because we're open.
Maybe they misunderstood the concept of happy hour.
They clearly didn't know what happy hour was. They
It's
just thought like
actually-
happy hour means we're open, right?
Yeah, it's
Like,
actually stressful for us after this time. So please actually be more considerate after this.
but I went in and sure enough, the guy was like, yeah, buy 2, get 1 free.
That's fucking
And we were
Nice,
there at
nice.
like 12. And I was like,
Fuck yeah.
how are you surviving as a business?
Damn.
Well, I mean, if people are coming there at like 9 a.m., you must be doing something, right? You know?
yeah, if it's a bar putting at 9 a.m., they're killing it.
Yeah.
True.
What was your favorite place in Vietnam then?
Oh, geez, that's hard. I probably have to say Sapa. It's like right on the northern border of Vietnam.
Right.
Yeah.
It's called the city in the clouds because it's like
Right.
the elevation of this entire village is like 1,000 meters up.
Oh, sick.
And it's like there's just these like clouds rolling over the hills. It looks like a fucking Princess Mononoke scene. It was
Yeah.
so sick. And we went on this like 2-day hike down into the valley to like go to all of the indigenous Vietnamese villages, and like kind of went around there. That was like fucking amazing. Like that, if you like hiking, like for sure go there.
I hate hiking though. and hiking in
Like in the
Southeast
fucking jungle.
You're
like a jungle?
hiking in Southeast Asia.
we were like
Fuck
dead ass
that.
in the jungle.
I've done that once, and I think I almost got a heat stroke because I'm like, how do I cool off? I can't splash water on myself because that's like the atmosphere is already doing that. So I'm like,
It actually sounds like my hell.
Really?
Yeah.
Hiking in the jungle. Yeah, that sounds like my
Okay,
worst
I
place
thought
to
I
go.
would hate it as well, but then on the second day it was like raining quite a bit, and I was just like, oh, thank God.
oh yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I love the rain in Southeast Asia because you're like you can literally feel like the climate like going down a few degrees.
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my God.
But the problem was it was a double-edged sword because it was like I was
like
cooling
slippery.
down from the rain, but this entire hike we were in the jungle is like mud. So I'm basically like ankle or like almost like ankle deep in mud. I wore my Vessies and you know those survived. So I definitely gave them like the best fucking promo they've ever had because I came out of this hike like my fucking shoes were muddy as shit. Still good. Not a single drop on my socks.
Literally sounds like my nightmare. Like, fuck this.
No, it was fantastic though. Like it was definitely a hard hike, but like just getting to see this like insane
view?
looking like views.
Yeah.
It just didn't look real, but it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I don't recommend for people who don't like hiking. I love hiking, so I enjoy the shit out of it. But
Yeah, I realized, especially when I went on the ski trip, I was like, oh, so skiing's kind of like you get all the advantages of hiking, except without actually hiking. This is great.
Why people love it?
Yeah, I was like, yo, why people are onto something, man? You know,
They figure that shit out.
You can chill. You can drink. You can
They
eat.
min-maxed hiking.
Yeah, you have the fun part, which is just going down, and then you can drink in between, get great views, and then
great.
they just built a device just to cut the hiking out. What?
Damn. If only it wasn't so expensive for a lot of people.
exactly right. Oh, this is it.
Yeah,
man.
hiking is great if it's pay to win. You know.
Yeah, if it's pay to win,
Like to me, it's like hiking is not a vacation. So hearing that this is a vacation, I'd be like, no. In my head, I'm like, this is like an activity, and I wouldn't want to do it as a. I don't know. My brain's weird like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta
I
separate.
think for me, like hiking can definitely be like a role because you know it wasn't like we were like speed running this hike or anything, and it wasn't like that long of a hike either. I think we did maybe like 10, 15 kilometers.
Yeah.
Which is like nothing really.
Yeah.
Like you can get that done in like half a day. But I think like for me it was just cool because you would never be able to see these like traditional villages or like know anything about it. Like our guide that took us was one of the members of this like indigenous Vietnamese village, and she just like knew all the fucking shortcuts and shit, and it was just so cool to just be able to see firsthand these like insane environments that just like look straight out of a video game.
Yeah.
So like yeah, it was tiring, but
Is that what you like about hiking? The views?
yeah, I think like just if you're hiking, I would say like hiking in just like a forest that you can't see the views from, or like, you know, if you don't hike to like say the top of a mountain or whatever, then it's like, okay, yeah, this is fine or whatever. But I think what I really enjoy about hiking is just like when you pull out of the really dense foresty areas into an open area and you get to see like where you got to and the all the views and shit. Like that's really gratifying for me. It's just like, oh, I fucking did it. Like I got to this place and see this thing that I can only see if only I had like gone through this like trek, right?
Yeah.
Because like all these places were completely inaccessible by anything other than foot.
Right.
So just to be able to say that like, you know, I got to those places and got to see it for myself is like, I don't know. I find that really cool and gratifying.
Yeah.
I think that's why I really like, you know, just like climbing mountains and stuff as well. Or
mean,
like
that's-
going on long walks and shit.
Yeah, that's the part I also like. That's the only part I like, which is the views. I don't like, but to say like, I don't enjoy getting from point A to point B. In fact, I fucking despise it most of the time, you know? I'm not calling out hikers. I get the feeling of like, holy shit, this is a massive view. But I'm that motherfucker who's going to complain from like, the bottom to the top. I'm
That's
like,
the British in you, dog.
I'm like, I mean, I get the views, but I'm not going to say I enjoy the experience of hiking, you know?
I don't know. I like, especially when it's like a muddy trail or like, you know, an off-road trail.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed like the challenge aspect of it. Just to
Yeah.
be like, oh, cool, I fucking got through that and,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't
Yeah.
die. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But
That's how I feel when I survive LA. I'm like, I didn't die. Damn, nice.
I made it to the next block without dying.
Oh, yeah. Also, I don't know. I guess like another thing is that you said muddy stuff. I don't know. I think I've kind of realized I fucking hate muddy things or mud or getting dirty. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
This fucking city boy.
Well,
I think I am
I like. So for me, I like a very good distinction. Like I am happy to get muddy and dirty when I am planning to do that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't like it when I go to a place and it's like just fucking dirty and there's shit everywhere and like a hoarder's house. It's like that kind of dirt or kind of stuff like that. I'm like, that is in my my worst.
Like
things
you
that I
don't
hate.
like when something is dirty in an environment that you're
Where it
not
shouldn't be.
expected
Yeah,
to.
where it
Yeah,
shouldn't be.
yeah.
But if you're telling me, hey Connor, you got to go and fucking hike in the mud for 3 days and be gross, I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah. I think I only like, I'm the same thing. Like, I'm not going to fucking be walking down the street in Tokyo and like be happy if someone throws mud at me. Like, I'm not
Yeah, but
I'm not
it's
like that.
it's like that's like I don't associate like being muddy is the same part of my brain that like that thinks like stuff's dirty, right? It's like
Right.
different. Like
Yeah,
mud
yeah.
is mud and all that kind of stuff, and getting dirty in that sense is very different in my head to how I view like traditional
Like
dirt.
natural dirty.
Well, yeah, like messy stuff,
Yeah.
or kind of like you go to a place like. I don't know. Sometimes you go to a place and you're just like, man, I can't shit comfortably in this toilet. It's not clean. Like,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I think that's the big reason why I just never went camping a lot in the UK, because I always associated it with, now that I've been camping at other places, I'm like, oh, camping's so much fun. But in the UK, it's just like you go out and it's just like the floor is just muddy, and you just like, especially if it's been raining, and then you just got to trek out, and you just never like, I'm just never comfortable,
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. That sounds, I mean, I love camping, but if you told me to go camping in the UK, I'd probably be like, nah, dog, I'm good.
It's cold. Gets cold.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that.
Yeah, if I'm gonna go hiking, normally I like a trail. I've never done like off-trail hiking or anything like that, so maybe that might be fun. Because I'm the same way. If I have time to like mentally prepare to be like, oh, you're gonna get like down and dirty, and you're just gonna fuck yourself up, then I'm like, okay, at least I have
Yeah.
like preparation for that.
Yeah.
But if I just want to chill, I'm just like I'm in like chill mode. Do not disturb chill mode right now.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely had days in Vietnam where we would just, fucking hang out in the city and just, maybe go have a bite to eat and just no physical activities whatsoever. But I think what was really fun about this trip is that there was kind of like a mixture of everything. Like there were some days where we were just like full on all day activity. And then there were some days where I was just fucking sleeping. Like, and not doing anything, going to the pool, having a drink at the bar or whatever. And it was-
Yeah.
I think that was like nice
sounds
combination.
like my kind of vacation.
Yeah, that's the vacation I want. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
So we all know how ExpressVPN protects your privacy and security online, right? But here's something you might not know, gentlemen. You can also use ExpressVPN to unlock movies and shows that are only available in other countries.
You can?
This whole week, I've been using ExpressVPN to binge The Office on UK Netflix. I just fire up the ExpressVPN app, change my location to the UK, refresh Netflix, and that's it.
Are you telling me that ExpressVPN lets you control where you want the site thinks you're located?
What if I am?
So you can choose from 100 different countries, so you can watch stuff like Parasite on Korean Netflix?
But it's not just Netflix, gentlemen. ExpressVPN works with any streaming service. Hulu, BBC iPlayer, YouTube, you name it. There are hundreds of VPNs out there, but the reason we use ExpressVPN to watch shows is because it's ridiculously fast.
But Joey, like, I want to use ExpressVPN more on my phone, but I don't know if they can sort that out.
You'll be happy to know that ExpressVPN also works on all of your devices.
How do they do it?
Phones, media consoles, smart TVs, and so much more. So you can watch what you want on the big screen or on the go.
So if you want to get access to hundreds of new shows, go to expressvpn.com/trashtaste right now, and you can get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. Damn.
That's expressvpn.com/trashtaste, expressvpn.com/trashtaste to learn more.
Back to the episode. So
I need
that's a work
vacation
thing.
After all this crap we just did.
yeah, so tell me about your guys' AX experience. How was it?
Well, yeah, so I went to LA like a week before you, right? Because I
Yeah.
also had my charity event, which went pretty
Congratulations.
well.
Yeah,
Pretty
congrats on that, by the
Thank
way.
you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that went well. It went great. I mean, I was like shitting myself a week before because I was like, okay, this is like real. And it's
Yeah.
And I was just filming a bunch of stuff before and prepping, and then I did like did some other stuff as well. I can't remember what I did actually. I did I went to Disneyland as well.
How was that?
That was interesting. So we had the like the super VIP tour. The one where you pay like a shit ton of money and you get a
Right.
guy who shows you around and you get to cut every line.
Right.
And it was not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Disney's not bad if you can skip every line.
Was it worth?
Wow.
I mean, I didn't pay.
Then yes, I guess
Yeah.
for
For
you.
me, that was great.
If you don't pay for your ticket,
I
how
wouldn't
much
pay
did
for
the
it.
ticket cost?
I think a normal Disneyland ticket's like $150.
Wait,
Yeah,
normal
just
ones.
A normal ticket.
So
Yeah.
how much was the
So
VIP?
how much was the
I think the
VIP?
VIP is a few $1,000s.
Sheesh.
But you can, I think the benefit is that you can take as many people as you want on this tour. But everyone has to pay
okay.
for their ticket still.
Right.
But so you could take like a group of 30 and everyone gets the privilege of cutting the line.
Right.
And I think a lot of,
Well, if you have a lot of money, I'm sure you can enjoy Disneyland. Who knew?
well, I think the idea is that you normally split it between like 10 of you.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
like an extra, and obviously you have to be wealthy as well. Which
Yeah.
because you know, I mean, you also have to be just wealthy in general to go to Disneyland. Because
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
holy
it's
fuck,
like
is
those
everything
people. It's like
expensive.
those people in Japanese Disneyland that where you can do weddings.
Yeah.
Oh my
at
God.
Japanese Disneyland, and I heard from a friend because she knew someone who did a wedding at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Dude, like minimum, it's like $400K.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, so 400,000 yen, you mean?
$400,000.
What?
Yeah,
Well, wait. No way.
I don't know how real that is. It's like including everything,
No
like the
shot,
catering and
no.
everything. But like you basically rent out Disneyland for the day.
That
and
seems
that's-
too cheap though for Disney.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
seems too cheap. I don't know. That's like a Mr. Beast video. You know? I'm like,
There you go, Jimmy. I just
holy
gave you a new
shit.
idea.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I
that's
can't
interesting.
imagine. I can't imagine paying that. Amount
Like
of money
I
for a
remember
wedding.
when Aki went to Disneyland a few weeks ago, she saw like another couple getting married at Disneyland because it, you know,
So they
it's-
must not have rented it out then, right?
Yeah.
'Cause
well, yeah, but like you rent out the actual castle, like the Disney castle, because that's where they do
Oh,
everything.
okay, 400K.
And
this
like-
is way too much.
And they would
still.
like bring
Yeah.
in, you know, they would bring you in on like horse and carriage. There'd be like an orchestra waiting for you, like, you know, to bring you in. And, you know, it's all open to the public, right? Until
Yeah.
the inside of the castle. And this couple walks out. And from the video that Aki took, I was just like, that looks like a very wealthy couple. Like, you know, when you can just tell
Oh, no,
from
no,
the
yeah,
looks,
yeah.
it's just like, they're
Yeah.
probably super rich. Like, immediately I was like, yeah, I can see why you're doing this because
Or maybe it's all a facade.
maybe it's
because
all a facade and they're all incredibly in debt right
Yeah.
now. Who knows?
I streamed the whole time because I was showing Mouse around because
Yeah.
Mouse wanted to go. I don't care about Disney, but I was showing Mouse around and everyone was like, oh, you know, because in Japan people were like, is it okay to film there? Because in Japan you can't film or do anything
Yeah.
in the Disney. And I was like, yeah, if you pay to win, baby. You pay, you can stream the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah.
And they were like, they would let me go on the rides with the phone. They would let me do everything. And I was like,
Right.
it's crazy how it's, even though it's not technically the same company because they lease out the license
Yeah.
into Japan. But it's like, it's crazy how you just have the exact same thing in two different countries and wholly different rules.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't do shit in the Japan one, which is fine because I don't want to go there anyway. Yeah, but it was fun. It was interesting. I had to go and I guess because they scheduled me to go and meet all the characters, and that was painful. That was tough.
What do you mean? Meet all of the characters?
Meet all the
Wait, you weren't
cast.
hyped? You weren't
Oh.
hyped to see Mickey?
No, I didn't meet Dickie.
That's the Vietnamese version in that restaurant.
Yeah, Dickie
Hey,
Mouse.
Dickie.
hey, Dickie, come here. I'm a little bit of a suck, eh?
I met like fucking Snow White, fucking Elsa. Actually, Iron Man was pretty cool. He's pretty hype. It was nice meeting Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Just awkward because I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to
Yeah.
pretend like I care that you're pretending that you're this character.
That's the
and-
British in you.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
couldn't
Yeah.
do it, man.
It's-
And I was dying of cringe.
Yeah, it's just like one thing I've always realized is that, you know, some people are very much into like the whole immersion
so into it.
and just getting into the role. And I'm like, is this a British thing or is this a me thing? And I feel like that's part of the reason why I have such a hard time, let's say, you know, getting into the idea of something like D&D, which to be fair, I very much did enjoy the whole aspect of D&D, but I feel like some people will like get into their role.
Yeah.
I like it now. It's growing on me. I had the same mindset initially. I was like,
Yeah.
it's cringe that you're pretending to be a character that you're not in front of all your friends. But
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's actually fun as fuck.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great.
But like, I could never do that in like Disneyland or something like that.
Hell
you know?
no. Yeah, it was tough. But the rides were good and the food was okay. Better than the one in Japan, I thought. I genuinely, that's my hot take, I guess.
Yeah.
Not that I care, 'cause I'm not a
What a
Disney,
hot take.
I'm not a Disney adult. I fucking hate those.
Disney
those,
adult.
People talk about it on YouTube all the time. Like, I can't watch this.
Yes.
So that was interesting. That was fun.
Yeah.
Got my steps in there.
Yeah,
22,000
nice.
steps.
Well, this is
in.
why you're having steps in because
Well,
you're
yeah,
going
yeah.
places.
Yeah.
Of
Doing
course, you're gonna have
things.
steps in at an anime convention. That's the only time weebs actually walk
True.
places, man.
True.
Meanwhile, in Japan, you're not going anywhere. You're just in your room.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then we had. So then I was like, after that Disney thing, I was like, literally like, it was like 2 days before the auction. So
Yeah.
we get set up the day before in the hotel. Everyone's coming in, and then it feels like really real and weird because you're like, oh, there's like 40 people here, all
yeah,
to help do my thing. And then it's weird because then I guess like this is my first time experiencing kind of being like the guy. I don't know how else to describe
The host?
it. Yeah,
I'm
kind
him.
of being like when there's a question about like creative, everyone's like
Yeah.
kind of waiting on you
Yeah.
to give your input, and it's kind of like
The
you know.
director.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm just a guy who does stuff in his room, and here are like 30 very professional people who've been working in this industry for a while and doing this kind of stuff, and they're waiting on my input, and it feels very odd. But it's also very satisfying to work in that environment and kind of do more kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like the day before, I was like just shitting myself because I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, but I probably should preface, there's a charity auction event that I did on Twitch, in case no one knows. You all know what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying because you didn't. The day before we had like rehearsals, and that's where I was like, oh God, I was shitting myself. Because like, you know how rehearsals are. If you've ever done them, it's like, you can't like. I guess you could give it your all, but it just doesn't feel the same. And you're trying to make sure that it feels as close to what's happening.
You're
but-
definitely operating at like 50%.
Yeah.
you're kind of like you're trying to perform, and then everyone's kind of like, and you're not actually like trying to be funny or anything, but then it does feel weird when you're like trying to do the thing, and everyone's just like, okay, it looks good, but like no one's like kind of interacting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're like running through the show, and there's so much stuff to keep track of, and it's all like on the fly. And so I'm like, holy fuck, this is a lot of stuff that I got to try to stay on top of while I'm up there
Yeah.
for 5 hours. And so just go to bed. I'm shitting myself. But like, I
you get a
slept
good
pretty
night's
well.
sleep?
I did actually. Yeah, I did get
okay.
like 6 hours of sleep, which I think is pretty good because I think for normally this kind of stuff, I'd get like 2.
Yeah.
If I get nervous for something, I'm like, like I think the cycler thought I was more nervous. Well, no, not nervous. Sorry, I slept worse for.
Right.
And then on the day, it felt so real, and I was shitting myself. Right. So I was like, okay, I got to perform. I got to perform. And then we had like, because I sold tickets. I sold 20 tickets for VIPs to buy for $2,000 each.
Yeah.
Which I was, which I was kind of
Average
worried
trip
about.
to Disneyland.
Yeah, literally average Disney adult spending. But the whole catch is that like, okay, the whole catch, I guess the whole benefit is that the $2,000 goes to charity. You can use that $2,000 to bid on things. And then also you get to come and arrive earlier, and you get to have like a VIP lunch with all the other people and me. And we all had a lunch together for like 2 hours, and we took photos, and they all got photos. And it was fun. Everyone was super nice, and the food was great, although I was too nervous to eat anything. Because you know how
Yeah.
it is when you get really nervous, you're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just living on Gatorade and chocolate just to get ready.
The average streamer diet.
Because I was just like, I just need energy, and I can't eat a meal.
Do you know what I find perfect for those occasions?
What?
It's the Japanese energy gel packs.
Oh my God. I
Every
fucking
shoot,
hate these
every
things.
shoot, I bring one because
I
I'm
hate
like, this is it. This is the time that they are useful. They are so fucking good.
Any other meal?
Dr. Jelly
sorry,
would be proud.
Yeah.
Any other shoot, I'm like, bring in the 3-course meal. Let's not start till I've eaten a full buffet. Like, let's chill out. Let's not, because I'm not that as invested, right? Well, I mean, I do care, but obviously, you've done it before, so you're like, I'm not nervous. Like 95% of shoots that we do, I am not nervous about. Like, I'm just like, I know what to do, I know how to do it. But this one, I was like shitting myself.
Yeah.
Were you nervous? Like, did you have that same feeling when we did the first America tour show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a
I
bit.
get that feeling.
Yeah.
Maybe like honestly, like a bit more because it was like at least on the show.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I have you guys there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And like on this one, it's like, oh, if I fuck up, it's all me. And
Yeah.
if something goes wrong, it's all on me.
Yeah.
I'm the one up there. Like,
Yeah.
there's no one I can bounce off of. There's nothing I can do. So it was just kind of like, all right, we're going into it. And like, I knew the structure of the show, and I knew what beats to kind of hit, but still on the day, there's gonna be so much happening, and there was no way we
Yeah.
could rehearse the whole thing. And like literally 1 hour before is where I really start fucking shitting myself. And then I see them on the starting soon screen, and people are still asking me for stuff, and then everyone's turning up, like you're turning up, and all
Yeah.
the other content creators are turning up, and I'm like, is this person here? They got to be here because they're going up first. Yeah. And then people were changing stuff because you know what content creators are like.
Yeah.
Someone's like, hey, can I go on earlier? And then someone's like, hey, I'm not turning up, and I'm like, okay, shit, fuck, I'm trying to stay on top of all of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, the show started. I was definitely nervous the first 10, 15 minutes, and then kind of went into it, and it went pretty well, I think. I think
Yeah.
it went pretty well.
I think it went more than pretty well. I'll be
Thank you,
honest.
thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I definitely got into the
You
flow
just
of it.
fucking killed it, Connor. I'm just
Thanks,
gonna
man. I
say. I
appreciate
mean,
it,
I was
appreciate it.
there, so you know.
He can't say it himself, so he needs someone else to say it.
Yeah.
I you know, as a person, is when you do this stuff, you never want to think like, if you think like I killed it or like I did the best I could have ever done, you're like, there's no room.
Then you can't improve.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like to think that I think I did a good job, and I think with what we had and how it all went, I think I did pretty damn good.
No, I think that's the best mindset
Yeah.
to be in.
But I think there's definitely ways we can improve it.
I mean, I think from the audience perspective, because I was in the audience, it was just a lot of, it was genuinely just a lot of fun seeing just a live auction. This is technically the first auction I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah.
And it's the first auction that I've ever bid in as well. So I was like, before the show, like Sydney was like looking at like the list. We weren't planning on bidding at all. And then Sydney just saw like the Smosh comics. And I just like I saw her eyes like open up. Like I had like a fucking sweat like coming down because I'm like, Sydney, you planning to bid on this? And she's like, yeah, I am planning to bid on this. And then I was like, okay, we're going to try going in for it. We're going to try going for it. So I had an idea going in like of our general budget, which was going to be about like, I didn't know how much items were going to be sold for. I was thinking that they were going to be sold for like 1,000, 2,000. Did you have like a idea how much items would be sold for?
I thought stuff would roughly go in the 3 to 5 range, which
Right.
it kind of on average did.
Yeah.
And then the big stuff went for quite a lot more.
Yeah, yeah. I expected like the big stuff to go for quite a lot. So I was like, okay, let's take a mental budget. Sydney was just like so trigger happy on the day because it was like such a good vibe. She was like, should I bid on this? And I'm like, no.
Yes,
Wait your
that's right,
time.
that's great.
Wait your time. And then, so the Smosh comics come up, and I would like at first like she starts bidding, and we go up all the way to like 2,000 or 2,500
started
or
to hesitate
something,
more, yeah.
and that's where she starts hesitating, and I'm like, all right, I got to be a good husband here. I was like, Sydney, I will pay for half of it. And so I take it, and then we start getting into a bidding war with like Carl Jacobs, I think.
Carl Jacobs is behind you. and
Yeah,
then-
Carl Jacobs is behind me, and I like start bidding, and then he starts bidding, and I remember like halfway through, I like turn around and give him like the biggest evils, like you motherfucker, this is mine.
Bombastic side-eye.
This is ours, actually, Carl. This is ours, and like, and so after I feel bad because after I look back, he just stops bidding.
Oh no.
So we get up to like 4,000, and then we're up against like someone online. And here's the thing, I did not know if like the person online was just like kind of like trolling just to see how high the bids would get. So every time we increase the bid, they would increase it by $50. And I like the gears were just turning in my head, and I was like, I remember we get up to like $4,500.
Yeah.
And I was like, Sydney, just go to 5,000. Just go to
Yeah.
just go to 5,000.
Seal the deal.
Yeah, let's stop this like fucking little, fucking playing around. Let's go to 5,000, and we go up to 5,000. They go like 5,000, like 100 or 5,050. I was like, all right, nah, that's it. This is it. They're
Oh, so you
obviously
didn't get it?
Yeah, so
No,
we did
yeah.
not get it. We
I
did
really
not
wanted
get
you
it.
guys to get it because I thought
Yeah.
it'd be a really good moment. But that's how it is, right?
Yeah, it's how it is.
And
We-
that was one of the things in the show that like I think was kind of tough to manage because it's like we need the online bids there because they help raise more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it helps people at home.
Yeah, yeah.
who maybe have fat stacks who can't be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Donate. But we also had it so that people could enter their max bid because this is pretty common on auction websites. You
Yeah.
can put your max bid. So it stops it from people like, because sometimes it buffers or sometimes your internet cuts out
Yeah.
or sometimes the web page doesn't load. So that's there for that. But I think next time and this is one thing that I was talking to them about right after the show. I was like, hey, I think it's super anticlimactic when like someone in the audience be like raises it by like 1,000 and everyone goes like, whoa. And then online it's like 50 more.
Yeah.
But obviously it's because they're trying to not scam people. But also
Yeah.
I think doing it next time so it's more incremental so that like when it gets to 5,000, it would automatically switch that it has to go up by 200 every time.
yeah. Kind of like poker blinds,
Yeah, exactly. Like
After-
a blind. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Because that would make it at least so when these trickling online things come in,
Yeah.
that at least it's not, especially if we're like, because the only times it was ever kind of like a bit hard to be the host was
Yeah.
when there was 2 online bidders battling.
Yeah.
Because there was, and I was relying on the actors who are great. The actors were so fucking funny.
Oh, they were great. Some of them were having like
Yeah.
a bit too much fun. They were like,
So we hired actors to represent the online bidders.
Okay.
And there were these 4 actors, and they were so fucking funny. And I later heard after the show that they were all like joking because I think Point Crow and Stans and that were sitting behind them, and they were all joking, being like, "Nah, my guy, he's fucking rich. They were like fucking each other. And they were like bantering the whole time, and then whenever there was a bid, they would be like, "No, 5,000. It was so fun. It was,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it was
sick.
such a good idea to
was
have
great,
the,
yeah.
because that was the, originally I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that could work. When they pitched the idea to me, I was like, that's interesting. And I'm so glad that they convinced me to do it because it
Yeah.
was such a good idea. It was such a good fucking move to make the online bids be interesting. But yeah, it went really well, I think. And we had that really hype moment with that guy where the last second he bid on it, but then it fucked everything up.
Yeah.
So there was a moment in the show where this guy was bidding, it was like $14,000 for some
Jesus.
Germa, some exclusive Germa like print stuff for his card game called Grotto Beasts. And there was a huge Germa fan in the audience. And the way that it had to work is that the moment I would say, I think I would give the cue to the staff saying, all right, we're closing it out. And then I would do 3, 2, 1.
Right.
But obviously none of the people in the audience understood what that they don't know it's a cue. But I'm cueing to the staff that I'm close the online bids. So they'd close the auction for this item as I was doing the 3, 2, 1. And then this guy in the audience goes, all right, this.
Because I thought it was a gavel. I thought it was a knocking on the
It's
gavel.
kind of tough because I think they needed to close the online bids before I started the gavel because otherwise it could theoretically come in on 3 and they wouldn't be able to relay that information to me. in time
fast
for
enough,
1.
right?
Yeah.
So they would close it. So it was kind of thing, but I'm sure we can think of a better way of doing it next time. So then he said like 15,000 and everyone lost their mind. It was great. But right before I hit it, and then we were like, okay, you got it. But then it turned out they closed it and actually let the guy before win. And then we had to, they asked the guy online, they were like, hey, do you want to bid over 15? And he said no. So the guy did get it in the end. It
Right,
was super
right.
great. It was a good moment. I'm glad it panned out that way. It was super hype. It was a fun moment. That was a really fun moment.
That was a really
fucking
good
great.
moment.
Oh, yeah.
And then Chris finally sold his big mouth.
I saw that.
Which is so
Yeah.
fucking funny because Chris is like, I'm so happy to give this away. It's like that he's been looking for a reason to get rid of it. I can't wait to have him on. Because we'll have him on soon, and I can't wait to ask him about.
I actually wanted
Auctioned
to
off our gift to
Yeah,
him.
I actually wanted to win it so I could give it back.
Yeah,
to him when he was
I
next
wanted the
on.
person to win it and give it back because I thought it'd be so funny that Chris couldn't escape this.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I think I sold for like $8,000.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
People already wanted that, and yeah, it was great. It was just such a good show, and at the end of it, it was like, oh man, I was so emotional. It was so hard not to like tear up because it was just like you have all these pent up emotions, and then you're just like trying not to cry, but I couldn't help myself. So I was
Yeah.
like, fuck. There's so much work went into it.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
And it went really well, and I would like to do it again. I think it'd be fun to do it again. So
Yeah,
we'll see
hell
if we
yeah.
can.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that was just great, and that was like the for me that was like the main part of the trip.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I got to do AX right after. Fuck. But AX was great as well. I mean, AX, but that was like definitely for me. That was what I was kind of like fucking
Well, of
nervous
course.
about the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, you put so much work into this
Fuck yeah,
for
yeah.
like months and
Yeah,
months.
super proud, man.
Yeah, super proud of you, man.
boys.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a great time.
Yeah.
But AX.
And then AX was, I mean, I don't really have too much to say about AX. AX was just your normal kind of like AX experience, except this time we tried building a booth and seeing what
You did a
that was
giant
like.
booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a massive booth, and it was fated, right? Because I looked at where our booth was, and I looked around, and in one corner, I see Fate Go, and in the other corner, right opposite, I see Hoyoverse. I was like,
Dance standing with the giants.
God damn.
I was like, this is my entire career has built up to this moment. I have built a booth standing next to Fate Go and Hoyoverse.
My entire career is in one room.
So yeah, we were next to the Aniplex Fate Go and the Hoyoverse booth. And honestly, like, booth experience was pretty fucking good. You know, I think everyone enjoyed it. Everyone enjoyed first off, first thing I think we've realized claw machines, fucking hell. Holy
Dude,
shit.
Okay, so yeah, we sort of preface, we're absolutely losing money on this booth, by the way.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
booth is crazy.
Yeah.
So please buy the merch.
Yeah.
please.
Imagine how I feel. I wasn't even there and I'm losing money.
So yeah, we had a bunch of cool attractions, and I guess because when you do these kind of booths in this scale and there's companies coming in and helping, there's always going to be so much miscommunication. And you try not to have that, obviously, and you try and work towards it. But there was a whole lot of hiccups and stuff.
Yeah.
And we rented these claw machines because I thought we should really have claw machines.
Yeah.
because it's
on brand.
It's
Yeah,
on
yeah,
brand,
yeah.
and it's fun. It's interactive. People can go and do it, and everyone knows claw machines are a great scam. So we would make money. However, we did not make any fucking money. So, first of all,
Someone got scammed, and it was us.
okay, first of all, to rent, I think it's fine to say this. I don't fucking matter because they totally scammed us. They didn't scam us, but so right, renting 4 claw machines is as expensive nearly as just buying 4 claw machines.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was $20,000 to rent 4 claw machines for 4 days. That is insane.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Yeah.
That means $5,000 to rent a claw machine for 4 days when you could just buy the same thing for like 6.
That's
Yeah.
more than $1,000 a day.
Yeah, great math there. But no, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's fucked.
$12.50 a day.
Yeah.
So like, and there's no shot we were making money on these claw machines, but we thought it would just be fun.
Yeah.
And then we were like, all right, well let's make it so that you can win some exclusive stuff in it. And I guess there was just something that happened, and like I guess the the price to play the claw machine did not equate to the prizes you would get. And by what I mean by that is that you could pay $5 and get 3 tokens, which I think it was supposed to be 1 or something. It wasn't supposed to be
Right.
that. So you get 3 turns, and this claw was definitely OP. A shit ton of tokens and just farming,
Yeah.
winning everything. And then I think they were just either giving it away or selling it.
Right.
Because the stuff you would get was worth more than what you paid.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and even if we sold it at that price, we would lose money.
It's just free money
Yeah.
glitches.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we kind of, that was kind of a bit of a mess, but I think it was fun.
And
People who played it at least.
on top of like how much we paid to rent them, I think 2 of them just broke immediately.
Yeah, 2 of them just didn't work.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck is the point of having this?
Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to rant about that, right? Okay,
Yeah,
good. Yeah. So, lesson learned: don't rent claw machines.
Yeah, and
just
we've-
buy them.
This podcast is brought to you by Cash App. With tools for saving and spending, it's the best place for you to level up your money
straight.
and glow up your life.
Connor, you still haven't paid me back for that meal in LA. What's going on, man?
Well, gone. Luckily, with Cash App, it's super easy to pay you back. All it takes to pay someone is their phone number, email, or their cash tag. You can even scan their QR code straight from the app.
That's it.
That's it, gone. So you get your money very soon.
Not only that, but you can keep track of your coin by seeing your balance updated immediately, so you always know when a payment went through. And you can get exclusive discounts with Cash App Pay and Cash Card.
Finally, I can track all of my spendings. Actually, I don't want to do that.
It's a faster, simpler way to bank without so many fees.
Guys, as an isekai fan, you know I love leveling up in my life like my favorite isekai protagonist. Don't laugh, Joey. This is a serious thing, okay?
Okay.
And like my favorite isekai protagonist, Cash App helps me level up in managing my money.
So if you want to level up your life like Garn, you got to level up your money. So download Cash App in the App Store or Google Play with the link in the description below. With no hidden fees and a free-to-order debit card, it feels like a cheat code for your finances.
Back to the video.
Before someone says, oh, why did you put like a claw machines or gacha machines? So in order to get like it's all to do with like the rules of an expo, like Anime Expo itself. So if you want and like a booth there, right? Depending on where you are, you need to meet certain requisites about how much space that booth takes and what's going to be in that booth. So to be in the entertainment hall, a certain percentage of your booth has to be interactive.
Yeah, so there's 2 halls at the
Interactive.
main LA Convention Center.
Yeah.
One of them's kind of like a bigger entertainment hall, and there's a lot more room, and it's a bit nicer. And there's the exhibition hall where it's just people selling stuff, which is kind of like the main hall. Sorry, I'm burping. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why we not only had the claw machines there, but we also had the replica setup, like this setup.
Yeah,
we
the
had
gacha.
like the cardboard cutouts, which were
Yeah.
like popping off from what I saw online.
Yeah, the cardboard cutouts. I'm so glad because
Yeah.
I think they
like
told-
90% of the photos that got sent to me were just people
With just the
standing in front of the
cardboard
cardboard
cutouts.
cutouts.
Yeah, because people told. I think they were like, "Hey, what do you think about cardboard cutouts?" I remember being like, "We should make them fucked up.
Yeah.
That would be funny." And I'm so glad we did.
Yeah.
It was a great
It was
idea.
hilarious, yeah.
So we had to put some stuff in it, and then we had the giant gacha machine, which we thought would be fun.
Yeah.
But the gacha machine was like, it was kind of like messed up. It just didn't work properly. But we did give away some of the set. So the Akira
Yeah.
bike's gone.
Yeah.
Black
Akira
Goku's
Bike's
gone.
Black Goku is gone as well.
And I think the Fate statue that was
Yeah.
on the After Dark is gone. We gave
Yeah.
those away to people at AX.
Yep.
And so shout out to those people. I'm sure they were very happy.
Yeah, you
with
got
that
you got
purchase.
the SSR pools, man. What can I say?
You got a piece of trash taste lore.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but
I
like
just learned that it was ungodly expensive to run a booth at AX.
Yeah.
it is ungodly
So
expensive.
please buy the merch again. Please go to trashtaste.co in the description.
I mean,
buy some merch because
okay.
it looks fire.
Okay, like you know, speaking
But
from
yeah, we can be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking for real, you know, we kind of did this as kind of like an experiment just to see what it is like to run a booth at AX, specifically AX. I don't know about other conventions, and like any advice to anyone or any company that is thinking about purchasing booth space in a convention as large as AX is that the real value you get is the value of like marketing yourself and having a presence where at a space where everyone else is present, you know. It was mostly surreal seeing myself and I guess like ourselves next to fucking some of
Like
the
Hoyoverse
biggest,
and-
like
yeah.
Hoyoverse and Studio Ghibli.
Well, it's a
And-
dick measuring contest.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like
yeah,
what all this
it
stuff is
It
that all
is.
the companies go there.
That's all a booth is.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, because like the reality of like how a lot of these businesses function is that although they make most of their money from us, the consumers and whatnot, you know, a lot of these like big business deals are just at the whim of like a few businessmen who like can be. So you don't easily like realize how impactful it can be to just see a gigantic like Fate thing, and then the businessman must be thinking like, Fate's huge.
Yeah.
Fate's crushing it. We should work with Fate.
Yeah.
Because maybe you wouldn't associate with the booth, but like just having that kind of presence and working with these brands or whatever, like just being
It's
there.
like they have a booth there, they must be legit.
It's such a weird business.
It is.
And I think for us, we just wanted to do it. I think it'd be fun.
We're legit, guys. Please, please work with us.
I don't think we were just like, fuck it. Like you said, we just want to be like, fuck it. What would having a booth at AX be like? It's the biggest anime con. I guess we're the biggest anime podcast, which is a title that always gets given to us, which is very undeserved.
Still love that.
And so we just thought, fuck it. What would it be like? And it was crazy. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
though. do admit it was great.
it's this entire thing has just taught me because, you know, even though we sit in our rooms and we make fucking anime videos and all that shit, it's kind of like just this entire journey itself has just taught me a lot about just marketing and what that means on just like grander scale of things.
Yeah.
Because if you say that you want to start a business and you don't know anything about marketing, you will 100% learn about marketing in some way, shape, or form. And I say this as an engineer that has not taken a single marketing course. I haven't signed up to fucking any dodgy online course about how to market yourself, because you learn so much on the job of just how important marketing
Well,
is.
none of us have ever really like studied marketing at school or anything.
Yeah.
right? Like,
I mean, we're in a fortunate position where we can be like, fuck it, let's lose money on a booth. Like,
Yeah.
Like, let's just do it because we want to see how it goes.
That
and,
too.
and I think
Yeah.
that it'd be a fun learning experience for us, and that we can see if this is something we want to pursue
yeah.
Yeah.
and do again.
I mean, for me, I'm always on just a journey of like trying to learn as much as I can. You know, you learn that there are some things you experience that you cannot immediately quantify.
Yeah.
But just, I think having that experience of just running a booth and just what it's like behind the scenes, we've gained like experience and know-how that.
Well, there's only so much you can learn from like a book, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like watching YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like you have to like actually put yourself into it to be like, oh, so this is how it actually is.
Yeah.
And that's what the Trash Taste booth for us was. You know.
Especially me. I am such an awful learner when it comes to just like reading shit. I am that motherfucker who plays a video game and I go through the tutorial and I read what like the tutorial is trying to tell me. And I'm like, this means nothing. I'm like, what the fuck are the game mechanics? And then I actually like play the game mechanics. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I get it. It like clicks in and it internalizes itself for me.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not the minority in that.
I don't know. I feel like
I feel there's a lot of people
No,
who are like that.
I think most people like to try
Yeah,
to learn.
yeah. Trial and
they
error,
don't-
yeah.
A lot of people just, you know, there's this whole like, I'm a practical learner. It's all bullshit. Everyone's a fucking practical learner.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to learn better if you let them do it. Of course you will. What do you fucking, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
obviously I think a lot of people, some people can absorb information better, but I think everyone learns the best when you have hands-on experience.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think that's you know, I think everyone can agree to that.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why like every job application you go to, they ask for how much experience you've had, not
Yeah.
how many
Yeah.
books you've read.
Yeah. Also, I feel like a lot of people, because I am in some ways in this camp where a lot of people have this idea of like something they want to do, and then they spend 10,000 hours of research on how to do it correctly.
just don't do it.
And then they
Yeah.
just don't do it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we try to do as much research as we can, doing like new stuff or new things on how to do it correctly. Something is going to go wrong. Our tour was not perfect. There are there are, for example, our tour, we had an idea that we want to do a tour, a live show. It did not go perfectly. Some things went wrong with the logistics of some shows and everything, but it's all like a learning experience.
That was expected as well.
Yeah. And you got to give yourself credit if you have any ideas that you want to do to fuck up a bit, to fail a bit. You got to give yourself a little bit of leeway. And I feel like more people should think. If someone's doing something new, I feel like there should be a bit of leeway given as well. Obviously, not everything's going to go perfect. They're going to try the best they can. But as long as they tried the best they can, and it's not a fucking massive fuck up to like a gargantuan scale, then,
it's not about taking risks. It's about taking intelligent risks. Right? It's about like, okay, you can use all of this like knowledge you've gained from like reading books, not actually physically doing something. And then from there, you can be like, all right, I'm going to try and do this thing now with the knowledge that I have. It might not be the most perfect knowledge that I have. It might not be the most like logistical knowledge that I have, but I know I have enough knowledge in me that I know that taking this particular risk will probably work out better for me than taking this ridiculous risk.
Yeah.
And it's all about that.
Yeah, and I also don't want it to sound like, oh, you got to buy our merch to like cover up our fucking whatever.
You do.
Connor's saying that. I'm saying this is generally one of my favorite merch shops that we've done.
I actually love this merch so much.
Of course, there's a denim jacket, so of course it was going to be one of my favorites. But I genuinely like love what we did, and I'm looking forward to wearing it in the future.
Okay. AX is always just so fucking chaotic as well for us. Obviously, like we can't experience it in like a normal way anymore, which is kind of like it sucks. But also, I mean, AX is as a con is just,
a mess.
I mean, it's like from a viewer perspective, a lot of the time I feel like you go there to hang out with your friends and not for like what there is to actually do there.
Yeah.
At least that's how I always did it before, at least. And now I guess what we do is we just promote stuff. My Twitter feed that weekend was just one ad. I got to the point where like they would just send me an ad. And normally like when we get sent an ad, like a tweet that we have to promote, they'll be like, hey, can you make it seem more natural? I was like, nope. I'm just going to tweet whatever you give me.
Yep.
Because I was like, I'm abandoning all hopes of trying to make this look like I wrote this weekend. And there was like, there's a few of them where people were like, hey, this looks like you didn't write it. I'm like, I didn't.
You would be correct.
Because a lot of the times the booths are like, hey, come to our booth and appear here and whatnot. Those dude, I won't name which one it is because I don't want to get anyone in trouble or me in trouble. I went to this one. We were at one of the booths doing a promotional thing. And it was kind of chaotic and stuff wasn't going well, which is all of them. And this guy walks in. This guy who walks into the booth, I'm chilling in the back. He's like, who's in charge here? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
And he's like, is it that woman over there? I was like, yeah, it's my boss. And he just throws his business card at me. He's like, I'll deal with this. And I was like, what the fuck? Who are you? Like, gives me a card. It's like CEO of marketing. I was like, who the fuck? What an asshole. Just comes in, like gives us like this. Gives me his card like he's looking this way. He's like, I'll handle this. Here's my card. Like a fucking Johnny Bravo-esque character. And I was like, this guy must think he's such hot shit. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm here to just chill.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, most of our time was just spent this time. We didn't, did you have time to walk the convention at all?
A little bit. Very, very, very little amount.
Yeah, most of my time was spent at the booth, working behind it. Or just like chilling out behind it, or just like different booth appearances. There was this one moment that was funny when like the booth was being built. And it was like day 0 or something. And I was sitting down, my editor, Alan, who I brought with me, like to help like build the set and everything, he was helping out as well. And we were like sitting down having our first like meeting for the day. So it was like me, Malin, and like some other Geeks Plus members. And then some of the staff members come up to our booth. And they go up to our like stand-ins and are like, oh my God, the boys are here. I don't believe it. And I'm like sitting right next to it. And they just walk past me and go to like the stand.
That would happen a lot actually. I'd be like, oh, hi guys. And they're taking a picture of the stand out. Like, hi.
and then it was literally like the fucking meme where you're just standing in the corner and like, they don't know
I'm gone.
They don't know I'm the real God right here. Yeah, they just like walk straight past me and they're like, I don't want to acknowledge you.
One of the days you should have tested that out by like replacing your cardboard cutout and just stand in its place to see if like anyone would notice. It's like, which one's the real one?
Yeah, next time we'll just get like wax statues of ourselves.
Oh my god.
Like Madame Tussauds,
Yeah, like Madame
statues.
Tussauds statues.
Jesus.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, AX was a lot of fun, I guess.
I'll try and be there next time.
Yeah, Joey, we were missing the boy, man.
I feel bad because it's such a big con, and obviously, woe is us being too popular. People asking for pictures, and we just can't take pictures because if we do, it just causes like a mess, and people will start lining up and grouping. And it's like I feel sad because I'm like, man, I want to take pictures of everyone, but obviously I fucking can't. But I guess also people sometimes just ask for pictures and they have no idea who you are because they just see that everyone else is asking for pictures. And I hate that so much.
No, I love that shit. It's so
no, because
funny.
you're like, what's your? One time on stream at AX, like last time, I was like, oh, he's like, I'm a big fan. I'm like, oh, what's your favorite video? He's like, oh, when you spent 24 hours in a manga cafe. I was like, that's on. I got this on camera. I was like, that's Joey.
I get confusing me and God. I don't know how they confuse you and I. You look nothing alike.
That's just a different ethnicity, man.
Because I wish there was like a I know that some people use codes and they're like they say a code word and it's like, oh, okay, you're cool. But it's kind of it's whatever. But we did a panel that didn't get broadcast. We did the panel for Kadokawa where we presented all the anime trailers. And that was fun. But that was like that was kind of scary because we're also doing it for all of these anime companies and they're trusting us to just like
Having a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, you know, maybe there's a show that is popular and people get super excited for, and there's some shows people don't know, or maybe there's shows that like aren't as popular, and sometimes you're like, okay, well, you want to make sure that there's an equal level of hype for all of them.
Yeah.
It was great seeing Connor have to pretend to care about Isekai for like an hour and a half. Well, I was like, this is easy for me.
I liked it. I liked it because, you know, we all have our own.
Shut up, the sponsors are watching.
I hope they don't watch this. We have our own personal preference, and I'm obviously not known for liking Isekai. I have very strong words. And then I'd read the thing, and because Gant knows the anime a lot better than me.
Yeah.
I was kind of reading out and doing all the transitional stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, so next up we have an isekai. And I was like, hey, first time nice. And it's like fourth one in. I'm like, all right, another isekai. Gant, gonna tell me about what this one is.
And I'm gonna be like, let me tell you how this isekai stands out from the rest of the isekai. I mean, I do that because I fucking love it anyway. So
this is cool though, because we got
You said that for every single one.
we got to premiere an episode of My Happy Marriage, which was kind of sick actually, being like, hey guys, we got an episode of an anime to show you a premiere. I was like, that's so cool.
oh my god! Actually, it was funny because I really like when we were on stage. I would like really put Megan on the spot because there were like some shows like Happy Sugar Life and especially like My Happy Marriage, where
It's like about a beautiful.
there's like a beautiful ikemen
Dead
kind of
ass,
man.
I actually thought My Happy Marriage was Happy Sugar Life. I was like, wait, did that show already come out?
yeah, with like a bit of a dominant energy, kind of like kind of like
very
that.
brooding.
Yeah,
like
very
everything's
brooding.
very minimal words,
And
very dark.
Right.
And I'm like, this is like, how can I describe this man? This is the kind of anime character that gets Maylin's hands to sweat. And then the first thing that Maylin says to me when I come off stage is she was like, "You're right, my hands were actually sweating during that trailer."
Oh my god!
and I don't want to like. So there was the premiere of the first episode of Happy Sugar Life.
No, My Happy Marriage.
Oh, sorry, yeah, no, my Happy Marriage. No,
Comes to your brain.
he's like, hi to my
It's a show on Netflix. Come out.
It's a show. It's a show on Netflix. Honestly, like generally speaking, sponsorship and everything fucking aside.
Well, we didn't have to say anything nice about it. We just, on the panel, we just had to.
Yeah, we have
present
to
it.
premiere it. As an anime fan. Generally, I think one of the best new shows there in this season is by Kinema Citrus and everything like that.
Dude, that was tough. I was reading some of these studio names and I was like, "Fuck! I hope I said that right." Because we didn't get to see anything about this panel until like 20 minutes before.
Yeah,
so I was just giving it to me. I'm like,
I was like, and this one's by Kinema Citrus. And I was like, I hope I said that right. And some of them were tough though as well.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but so the main character is kind of like this very quiet, reserved, typical like Japanese girl, and the whole premise of this show is that it's kind of like she has someone she's in love with, but she has a bully. right? And this bully is like a sassy blonde anime character. And it's like, in my mind, I was like, everyone in the audience is going to be like, oh, it's just like Sydney. Like, you know, because that's what happens in like every one of my, every one of my streams. Every time there's a blonde anime character, it's Sydney.
Yeah.
And then,
because everybody knows Sydney's the only blonde woman alive.
Exactly. So the blonde character is like kind of like a bully to this like main girl, right? And so the main girl has a guy that she's in love with. I'm only spoiling episode 1, by the way.
Yeah.
The main girl only has a guy that she's in love with, and of course, you know, spice it up. It turns out that the guy is going to get married to her bully.
Okay.
And so we find. I'm watching this backstage with Sydney, and then we find out some of the girl's backstory, and it's like a sad, like really sad backstory. Like her mother's dead, and when the scene of like her backstory comes up, it's meant to be this really like sad scene that just shows her mother dying. That just shows her mother's her mother is dead. Yeah. Sydney just burst out laughing. And I'm like, God fucking damn it, Sydney. You do not have to, like, she was like, I was like, oh, the fucking comments are right. Like, every blonde anime character that's sassy and bullies, it's just Sydney, because the mother is dying and Sydney just like burst out laughing. And like one of our staff members it was just literally like the Robert De Niro like moment in The Joker. It's like, really? Her mother's dead and you're laughing? Really?
Meanwhile, I was eating chicken tenders.
Meanwhile, Connor was eating chicken tenders behind the scenes. But honestly, yeah, it was a great experience, and it was honestly great seeing like just an anime premiere with a lot of other people. It was one of the most hypest moments was actually when we showed the ReZero trailer.
Oh my God, everyone was like screaming nonstop. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I was like, wait a minute, this could actually be pretty hype. Maybe it's pretty hype watching anime with like other people and just seeing other people's reaction, right?
Right.
Yeah. It is hype.
It is hype.
It is.
I would love to see more of it.
Watching just anime with a crowd, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But there's one moment where like there's a character with big boobs and everyone just started cheering. And I was like, you fucking guys, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you guys?
Yeah,
have we not seen enough?
Everyone started cheering, and I was just like, because at the point I was like,
John didn't know why they were cheering.
I was like looking at the notes. I was like, is there like something that just got announced or something? Because I was like trying to make sure that the next segment was going to go smoothly. So I was like, is there a big name attached to this? Because everyone just started cheering, and then I looked behind me, and then I saw the poster of like a girl with massive tits, and I was like, oh, okay. Okay, now I get it.
I was the one
Their fans all are just monkeys, bro.
I was the one operating the clicker. So I knew why they were cheering, because I knew the slide that it went to.
Yeah.
And then I was hoping that it would just we can ignore it. And then of course it came back up and they started cheering again. And I was like, God damn it, anime fans.
Yeah.
This is why we can't, this is why no one thinks that we're good members of society. Yeah, and that was fun, and then we had that. So that was the whole thing, and I did my panel with Mouse as well. That was streamed. Dude, the line was fucked for that. Yeah, the line went like all the way into the hotel to the 4th floor, went out to the hotel, all the way back to the entrance, back out. Do you know where the micro? You know the JW Marriott Hotel?
Yeah.
So that, and then there's that Starbucks, and there's a Microsoft Arena.
Yeah.
The line came all the way out, all the way around the Microsoft Arena to the start of it, and just for this panel with
how many
me and Mouse.
people fit in?
No, dude. By the time like they were all lining up, it was already full.
Yeah,
so
I was about to say.
I guess
like,
people didn't know that, so
Jesus.
it was like a 2,000 room. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was like 2,000. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think main events was reserved for like industry stuff.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. So they were like, no main events. And that was crazy. That was a lot of fun. It's always weird having to interact with the screen and the delay and stuff, but it was a lot of fun. And it got streamed, so you can go and check it out. There's clips online as well.
Yeah, I mean, right now it just seems like Anime Expo has just basically just become the E3 of anime, if E3 was like still a thing. Because every time I go there, like so many exciting anime announcements get like released during like AX. It's actually insane.
It's a fun period.
Yeah, it's actually insane. Like as an anime fan, I love AX just because I know this is where all like the hottest news is gonna like get released about some exciting projects. We got like, you know, like out of fucking nowhere, DC is collaborating with Studio Studio Wit
Dude.
on
Oh, yeah.
a Suicide Squad isekai. And I'm like, where the fuck did this come from?
I caught this on the podcast. I said they're just going to isekai shit that we've had before. I literally said it. Play the clip. There's a short. Someone found it, and because I didn't even know I said this. Someone
really?
sent it to me and be like, "You called it." I said that they're just going to isekai shows that already existed.
Yeah.
And they're fucking doing it.
Yeah.
I said they would do this.
I think I saw that announcement on Twitter, or rumors about it a few weeks ago, but
Yeah.
I was like, nah, that can't be real, right?
First of
That
all-
sounds ridiculous.
First of all, who cares? Because Black Butler's coming back. That's all that matters.
Oh, yeah.
Black Butler's. You don't sound as excited as I.
I mean, it's Black Butler.
Did you see they made him in like a soft boy now?
Yeah.
I haven't
What the
seen-
fuck?
That's why I'm not excited.
Why is he like a soft boy? He looks like he spends too much time on VR chat now.
No. I don't care about Black Butler.
Sebastian
I'm
Soy
sleeping on that because Panty and Stocking
Yes.
is coming.
That is the biggest
back,
hype.
baby.
That's the biggest hype.
Hell yes.
I feel like Trigger are like very, very good when it's like we draw boobs. And it's, all right, okay.
You know
yeah.
what? I'm not going to take the credit for it, but when I interviewed the co-founder of Trigger, I did ask for a season 2 of Panty and Stocking.
Okay.
Oh, the guys, they're at the board meeting.
So-
they're like,
Yeah,
guys, we can't
Don't
do
credit
it.
me, but I was the first one to ask.
They're like, we can't do
Yeah.
it, guys. It doesn't make any sense.
The
Nobody cares.
anime man said he wanted
Stands up.
season
He
2.
said he wanted it.
I wanted
Oh, shit,
it.
Don't show my shorts. You gotta blow those.
I wanted it, and he was like, "We'll think about it," and then he delivered. So, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
hyped
you-
as fuck for
Yeah,
that.
thank
bro.
you so much, Joey, for
You're
asking
welcome.
for
You're
season
welcome.
2
It's all me.
of Panty and Stocking.
You're welcome.
Clearly, it's
Fucking
all
did
it's
us-
all
you did
you.
us good.
It's all you. It's
Anime
all you.
is saved. Thank you, Joey.
Joey, the anime man, has saved anime. Everyone.
Well, I needed them to bring back the classics, and they did. So,
Ask
Yeah.
him to do One Punch Man now, please. Can you ask him? I asked
don't
them.
know what to do.
I asked them, but I asked them in English. It
Wait,
wasn't
hold up! I got the Mappa CEO on like guitar right now. Yo, where's One Punch Man
Yeah,
season
hello?
3 coming out?
Hey, I know Chainsaw Man didn't do so well,
Yeah.
but
I'll tell
got
you
a
what.
big
I'll
one. I got a big
I'll
one.
give you a suggestion. Bring One Punch Man back, and it'll be like, I'll think about it.
One thing I have started to notice now that, every time we go to a different country and we've hung out with like other content creators is that starting to notice a pattern where every time they want to take us out to dinner, to chill out or, have like a nice dinner, it's always a fucking Japanese place. How the fuck does this happen every single time?
Well, I think it's a lot of people in LA. What I realized, they just eat Asian food the most.
Yeah.
In general, and then like, you want Korean? I'm like, Korean, yes.
Yeah, it's just like, when we travel abroad, I want to have like, give me like the fattest American steak or something. And everyone's like, so I booked out this Japanese place. It's a really trendy because I've realized
They're
now.
like, you guys live in Japan. You like Japanese
Yeah,
food,
because
right?
I've realized now all the trendy places, especially like all the trendy places in LA and California and now like I guess Australia, all of the trendiest places are like Japanese
Yeah, like
places.
Chad took us to that fucking Japanese restaurant.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, Chad, you knew. You knew.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, that was okay as well. I mean, it's pretty good, but
It was
was
good.
pretty
It was
good.
good. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's just I feel like this is the I feel like this is the sacrifice we have made for living in Japan, which is like all the food here is like Japanese food is just great. And then
Yeah.
you go back and then everyone wants to eat at like trendy Japanese restaurants. I don't know why it's like, especially Japanese cuisine that has been propped up in such a way where it's become kind of like a very like high class, not really high class, but very bougie kind of like place. you
Well,
know?
because it's like, I think the whole difference between the Japanese food culture and like the Western food culture is just so different, right? Like not only with like the actual items of the foods, but also just like the way it's presented and like
Yeah.
how courses work and shit like that. Like, especially because like Japan is very much a culture where it's like, it's not just like, here's one big main dish and that's your food.
Yeah.
It's more like lots of small little dishes. So I think the Western idea of it being like, well, if there's multiple items that are coming out, it's like a course meal. So that's fancy. When in reality, it's like you can achieve that same thing at an izakaya, but it's not fancy at all, right? So
yeah, I didn't eat a lot of the food that I normally look forward to. Like, I didn't eat any wings. I don't think I had any Mexican food.
what?
Yeah, I don't think I had any Mexican food.
That's not like you.
Yeah, I normally really look forward to that. I had it in and out, but it was one of the worst ones I've ever had.
yeah.
It was, dude, the fries were even worse than normal. I know they're the worst part, but it was like the worst.
Okay. I did have one thing I always like. The one thing I always look for when I come to LA. Pretty much the only thing I look
Can I
forward
guess?
to.
Korean barbecue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me and Korean barbecue is like, especially, okay, I don't know if this is like blasphemous to say, but like, I think the Korean barbecue in LA is better than any of the Korean barbecues you can get here in Japan. And I don't know why.
Yeah, way
Well,
better.
that's because Japan puts more effort into yakiniku than they do
Yeah,
in
and
Korean
also,
barbecue,
like, dude,
which is different.
I feel like some America, like, credit to them, the Korean barbecue all you can eat is so fucking
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
it's fucking
They actually
slaps.
actually so good.
yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
I mean, I don't have too much of like a, I don't have too much of a, was it sample size, because I've only been to Korea like once for a weekend, but you know, I fucking ate as much Korean barbecue as I could fit in that time. It was basically Korean barbecue for dinner for like every day. And the Korean barbecue I had on that one trip wasn't like, it was good. It was fucking fantastic. But
I feel the Korean barbecue in Korea
Yeah.
is kind of like halfway between Japanese yakiniku and the American Korean
Yeah,
barbecue,
yeah.
where it's like, it's still, you know, it's still got like the essence of the Americanized Korean barbecue, where it's
Yeah.
just like, just bring out a shitload of meat and it's all fucking good. But there's also like a delicacy to it that's very much synonymous
Yeah.
with Japanese yakiniku.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
I would say I actually, from what I've tried so far, unless anyone has any recommendations, because we're going to Korea, I'm going to Korea like pretty soon. I've not found a Korean barbecue yet that has matched some of my favorite ones in LA.
Yeah, they do good there. They do
Yeah,
fucking
there's
good.
just something about the American culture of just indulgence and just being like, just have as much as you want.
Oh, America
order
knows
as
their
much as
meat,
you
Okay,
man.
want.
first of all,
America
like,
knows their
if
meat.
I
Yeah.
pay $50 in America for all you can eat
Yeah.
Korean barbecue, and I pay $50 for all you can eat in Japan, what I'm getting is two so different
Yes.
qualities.
Yeah.
$50 all you can eat in Japan, I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm like, where did they get this meat from?
Yeah.
Like, it certainly wasn't Japan. You know, because Japan also has a big import culture of with beef and chicken and
Yeah.
whatnot. They import a lot of it. Obviously, we hear about Wagyu all this. A lot of, so basically, like a lot of the meat you get, especially when you go to yakiniku places, especially if it's a cheap place or you can eat, you're often getting a lot of imported meat, and it's
Yeah.
like, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. But I feel like in America, when you get the $50 all you can eat thing, and they're like, they're seasoned so well as well. Because in Japan, they don't season shit, and it's fine. But sometimes I want the pork belly that has been marinated all day in the spicy sauce.
Yep.
That shit's fire.
Yep.
Look, I get Japanese cuisine, especially Japanese cuisine, where it's just like, it's all about the natural flavor.
Yeah, you think they'd like it. They're like
Yeah.
they've been taken over by the British with like
Yeah.
how little seasoning they use sometimes on stuff.
And
like, it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's just like, this cow has been listening to Mozart every day or some shit like that. He gets
Had a
massages.
butt massage every day.
Yeah, butt
Well, it's
massage.
like, it's like the olive wagyu where
Yeah.
they feed only olives to the cow. It's
Yeah.
like, how about we just don't do that?
And I'm
That
like,
shit's overrated,
I'm
bro.
like, motherfucker, I'm tired. Give me all of the spice. Give me as much spices as you can on
yeah.
one piece of meat and call it a day. And it's gonna taste fucking amazing.
Yeah.
True.
And like, yeah, American
True.
American cuisine, I feel like has that like right balance of being like, we're gonna got a little bit of everything. You know, we're not gonna do everything one's way, but what we can guarantee is you can eat a shit ton of this shit.
I feel great.
It's
I
got
always
like
feel
the
great.
addictiveness of fast food,
Yeah.
even though it's not fast food.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
don't know how they achieve that.
Yeah, but
works.
also because I was talking to Emily about this, and she was like, because I was saying like, I feel like Korean food, not just Korean barbecue, but just Korean food in general, is I've had better Korean food in the US and England than I have found here in Japan, and I'm like, why is that? And we're having like this really long conversation of just like, is it because of the rivalry here? Because she was saying that
It
when
could
she was saying that when she's in Korea, it's hard to find good Japanese food. So you'd think that by them being neighbors, you could easily find like good Korean restaurants in Japan and good Japanese restaurants in Korea. But she was saying, yeah, it's actually like really hard to find good Japanese restaurants in Korea because
Because of the rivalry, probably.
maybe it's the rivalry. Maybe people just want to more focus on their own cuisine rather than.
Or maybe it's this idea of because they're so close by, like it's
Yeah.
literally a 2-hour flight from Tokyo to Seoul.
Yeah.
Like because it's so close by, maybe there's no need
Yeah.
for there to be a good counterpart in each country,
Yeah.
because it's like, well, if you want the counterpart, just fly 2 hours.
Because like,
And you can get it.
I wonder if this is a thing in like European countries as well. Because I don't know. Because I feel like obviously in England we have a lot of other European restaurants because British cuisine sucks. So we have to borrow other cuisines.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know, can you find like Spanish food, good Spanish food in France, or do people just go to?
You definitely can.
Yeah, right.
I think so. At least yeah.
But then again, I'm not going to France to eat Spanish food.
That's true. That's true.
So there's also that, you know, like I don't think there'll be anyone who's like in Germany and being like, yes, I really want Italian food right now. So fuck the German food.
Bro, I don't care where you are in the world. I always want Italian food.
That's the one exception.
I've always got time for
That's
Italian
the one
food,
exception
baby.
where it's like no matter which country you're
can
in,
do it.
there's always at least one good Italian restaurant.
I'm fucking madman. They got such good food.
They did it, man. They achieved peak. I don't know how you guys did it.
I will admit, I think because when we were in LA, we try and do Korean barbecue, but a lot of the time I would just get like bibimbap. So I love bibimbap. It's so good.
Yeah, bibimbap.
I swear to God, I've never had a good one here. I don't know why. It just doesn't go as hard here. I've had okay ones.
Yeah, there's some good ones, but definitely the ones in Korea are better. For sure.
Yeah, in LA, they're great as well.
Yeah.
I feel like my problem with the bibimbap here as well is they're tiny. They don't like... The bibimbap's in LA, I don't know if they're big in Korea, but like they're fucking big bowls.
They're pretty big in Korea.
Yeah, more surface area for the rice to get fucked on. I love it. And dude, it's so good. And I had one here and I paid like $30 for it. And it was tiny. And I was like, this sucks. Get me out of here. I don't know. I think, but the Korean fried chicken here is pretty good. I do like that. I've got a spot here I love in Shinokabo. It's so fucking good. Korean, it's so fucking
Well, Shinokabo is basically Korea.
It's so, dude. I took
It's
Pete,
basically
I think
Korea.
I took Pete there on stream. It's like this place in Shinokabo. It's, dude, the fried chicken they do is nuts.
Oh, I think I know which one you're
I've
talking about.
never been there. I think Nabby took me there originally.
Yeah,
Might
is
have
that the
taken-
one on like the third floor? or
Yes,
whatever?
yes.
I've
And like
been there.
it's all wooden chairs.
Yep.
Bro,
That
it's
place
insane.
is insane.
Dude, I've
Yeah.
never had fried chicken that good in my
Yeah.
life. And all other fried chicken pales in comparison.
Yeah,
Right.
That is
I mean-
easily the best fried chicken I've had.
I mean, the best fried chicken I've ever had in my life is in Korea, actually.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, I thought that was.
I gotta go.
Yeah,
I gotta
I thought
go.
that
Yeah.
was peak, and then I went to a Korean fried chicken place in Seoul, and I was
Yeah.
like, this just blows everything out the
Okay.
water.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
They know how to do it. Man. They know how to do it.
we will see about that. Yeah, me and Connor are planning to go to Worlds this year in Korea, so we'll just.
nice.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
We got to get tickets still. I don't even know.
Well, so the tickets aren't even.
So you're
open
going to
yet.
be at an internet cafe for 4 days, or
No, we're gonna watch other people be in an interview.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we're
see,
gonna
I
we're
see.
gonna watch other people.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to go and watch it. We still got to. Hopefully, we can get that all sorted. That'll be fun. Yeah. Is there anything else topical we can talk about?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that. Like,
While we're here.
now
on
while
topical-
we're here, now we have the opportunity. So, do you think Threads is going to be the Twitter
Oh my-
killer?
no. Okay, right. No, we can't talk about this.
Why
This
can't we talk
this is
about
boring.
this?
It's
Is it boring?
Yeah, it's not gonna. But Twitter's a mess, and it's whatever. And I think we're on it. I don't know.
I do love.
Have you
all of
guys
the-
started a Threads yet?
I have.
I have, yeah. I do love all of the little jabs that Elon is making to Mark Zuckerberg on Twitter. It's just, it's like watching two children fighting.
Twitter's a mess. Twitter
Yeah.
actually sucks to use.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Twitter's just not good.
I've been
remember-
using it way less. The
Yeah.
past couple of years.
It's such a weird feeling because I started my Threads like literally today because for some reason I couldn't log in when I was in America, and then it was just like logging on and just seeing people post, and I'm like, oh my god, this doesn't feel like a cesspool.
Yeah.
I feel like
It's like the
people-
old school Twitter days.
Yeah, this is what I felt when I started my Twitter.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me realize that I'm fine throwing away all of the followers that I've built up over the years because, it's kind of like it's kind of like I've been on Twitter since when did you guys start your Twitter? I think I started mine like 2011 or
I
something.
think
like
mine was
that.
2014.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Might have been 2009.
Yeah.
2009.
2009.
Wait, you had one before YouTube?
Yeah, I had one.
Oh,
before
I
YouTube.
made
Yeah.
one because everyone was like, "You need a Twitter if you're a YouTuber." So I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
okay."
yeah.
I never even touched this.
Yeah, but
fucking
my
website
name was
before.
like because I was obsessed with Hannah Montana at that time, and I only made it to follow.
to follow Miley Cyrus.
to follow like I wanted to know what the cast was up to, see if they were cool. Then I realized it's boring as shit, and so I didn't
Yeah.
do anything with it. But I've had it since 2009 because I actually got locked out of my Twitter account. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember this? My Twitter account, I couldn't access it for like 4 or 5 days
Yeah.
because when I made it, I obviously lied about my date of birth because I was actually like 11 when I made Twitter.
Yeah.
When I made Twitter, it was still like. Well, I mean, that's not really old. It was still the favorites. It wasn't heart. It
Yeah.
was like star.
Yeah.
And so I made it literally, I don't know when did Twitter come out? What was the year it came out? Kai, can you check? So 2009, I think I was very, very, very in the start of it.
2006.
Okay, yeah, so like 3 years in.
Yeah.
And I think this is still even on MySpace, the thing. So I but yeah, so how old was I in 2009? 14 years ago. So I was 12. 12 when I made it.
Right.
Which is crazy to think, right? I made it, and then my date of birth, I obviously lied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just, when you're 12, you just get in the habit of lying on these websites.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
You have to.
You can't go into any website and not be like,
How else are you
"Hey."
supposed to see the 18 plus content?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? Like, you
Exactly.
just lie. So I was just so in tune with lying, and I still kind of do it sometimes. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to tell my real one.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 50.
Yeah.
What of it? So made it when I was 12, and then I had the genius idea like 4 years ago. It's before I moved to Japan. It was like a year before I moved to Japan. So 4 years ago. No, 5 years ago now, I guess. 5 years ago, I had this genius idea where I was like, you know what? It's time to set the record straight. Let's put my real date of birth in. Because it was like March 5th or something is my birthday on Twitter, and people would be like, oh, it's happy birthday. I'm like, no, it's not my birthday.
Yeah,
You know?
it's a fake birthday.
Yeah, so I changed it to my real birthday. Immediately got locked out of my Twitter.
What?
Couldn't use it because Twitter has a policy where they block accounts. Didn't know this, that even if you're 18 or 19 now, whatever, they will still shut your account down because
you
it was
fly.
made under the because it was
Right.
made when it wasn't allowed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you just like self-report.
Yeah.
And tell Twitter that you fucked up. And so I was like, fuck. And I Googled a bunch, this has happened to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much impossible to get your account back. But at this point I had like 100K followers. I was like, holy shit, I'd spent years building this up. What the fuck? And I had the at CDogVA and everything. I was like,
Yeah.
I need this back. And so there was a few people online who had some luck. And because Twitter support was and still is absolutely fucking useless and garbage. It's all automated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could send in an ID, but it couldn't be. It was so busted that it couldn't be a non-American ID. Otherwise, the system they had wouldn't recognize it.
Right.
So I had to ask someone. So I asked my editor at the time. I was like, "Hey, can I just have your ID to put in?" And so now Twitter just thinks I'm that age. But I had to send because apparently someone was saying the Twitter thing is so bad. It's always been bad that someone could submit one at this time, and 2 weeks later, someone could submit it, and the person who did it 2 weeks later could get seen first for no fucking apparent reason.
Yeah.
So I made I did like 50 email accounts and submitted all the same shit, and it was something like the 40th one was the one that got like approved, and then my account got changed to this American ID. So Twitter thinks I'm like 30 something. Isn't it crazy? So yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure a lot of people would believe you if you actually said
Yeah.
that. Hey.
So yeah, so if Twitter asks, it's such a dumb fucking rule. What a
Yeah.
dumb rule.
Yeah.
To block a, I think it was something to do with one of the government laws or something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. It was fucking stupid either way.
Well, that's what you get for lying.
Either way,
I'm just waiting.
don't give a fuck about Threads. I'm on it. I'm vibing with it right now, but I don't expect it to be a big thing.
Well, the problem is
Why do you expect it
Yeah.
to be a big thing?
Well, I don't know, because right now it's
do you
like
think Elon's going to bring down the ban hammer? That's what people are
no.
thinking is going to happen. It's
it's
like,
just-
oh, lawsuit incoming. But
No, no.
I think that Instagram serves a really good purpose and reaches an audience that Twitter definitely doesn't. But I think people who want Threads would just still use Twitter in a way. And I don't think at least right now, it's not great. But I think maybe it will in future. But I don't know.
I think
I'm
right
just
now
vibing
there's
on it right
like
now. I'm shitposting.
zero. There's
Yeah.
like zero algorithm on Threads right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Where like I remember yesterday I
don't
was
like
like
scrolling
scrolling
on.
through it, and
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't follow any of these people. Why are they showing up?
Yeah, I think it like whether it like becomes a thing or not, really much depends on will people continue using Twitter, because I want to post on Twitter as much as I can because it's good for my like online fucking brand and all this shit, because you know we're like fucking influencers and all that shit, but like I just find myself not wanting to, not
Yeah.
because it's a conscious choice, just because I just don't find it fun.
No.
Twitter is
know.
also like only quote retweets right now. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
It's literally just all you do on Twitter now is that it's just these like 5 accounts and they're in everyone's feed, and all they do is scour the web for fucking tiny ass posts so they can dunk on
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah.
And that's literally the entire website, and it's so fucking boring and it sucks
It's
to watch.
just
Yeah.
tiring, you know. It was fun like the first few times, and then you just see like a random person catching strays, and yeah, exactly. So it's just
It's so
nice.
negative.
Yeah, it's so negative. So it's just nice going on like fucking Threads and just seeing people.
Actual positive rethread. I was like, oh my God, I missed this. Not for malicious intent, but just to share something cool. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, I'm really enjoying Threads just because, again, it kind of gives me back that old school feel of Twitter. But obviously, it's still got a
Once they unban porn, it's over.
Dude, the moment they release the anime titties, it's over. I fucking tweeted out or threaded out that shit. And I'm just like, release the titties, bro. Come on,
the
Zark.
titties.
Come on, Zark. Release the titties, bro.
He's gonna get his dick out for Elon. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to talk about, I guess I didn't think we'd get to talk about this on Trash Taste because I didn't think we'd have a time. Just seeing the whole fucking submarine.
I knew you were gonna bring this.
I mean,
I had a feeling. I had a feeling in my balls.
I mean, it was just so weird seeing that whole event just play out because
People like betting if they're like betting money if they're alive.
I've never because I've never felt
That
more
felt
like
so post-apocalyptic.
yeah. I've never felt more in a dystopian fucking society than just seeing that event play out.
Do you want to just briefly? I know everyone knows this, but just so that this episode in like 5 years, someone watches it, understands what the fuck you're talking about.
So about 2 weeks ago, I believe there was a submarine company where a bunch of very well-off people and some of their family members got into a submarine to explore the Titanic. And for
The irony.
Yes. And for a few days, the sub was just completely like lost contact. Nobody knew what happened to the sub, but from that piece of information, everyone garnered that there was a certain amount of air left in the sub that they could be alive in. So there was like this hope that while the rescue mission was like going ahead, that the sub could still be found. Later turned out that there was a depressurization and they basically just died instantly.
Yeah, it collapsed in on itself.
Yeah. That's what found out. But it was in the time period leading up to the wreckage being found that I find fucking fascinating, you know, because there were so many different approaches and so many different reactions to this thing that was happening. It was weird seeing an event being like this, a kind of event like this being memed before we'd find out like the fate of like everyone on board. But I think it just proves that in some level, everyone's fucking terrified of the ocean in some way, shape or form.
It's a scary place, bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking scary.
Right?
Fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
It was weird watching, I guess it was like, oh, they're rich, so they should die. It was really weird. But a lot of people who are kind of, I mean, just that's the internet in general there. We give some people anonymity and they're like the worst human beings on the earth. Yeah. It's very odd because you compare it to like other situations that are, I guess, not as similar, but like when there's like some people are trapped in a mine and they're trying to get them out. And it's like, I don't know if it's just because like this hasn't happened for like, when was the last time something like this happened? I think the last one that I can think about where someone got trapped and everyone was waiting to hear what happened was like the Thai.
Yeah, the Thai cave, which is also fucking wild as well.
Yeah, it was just fucking. I mean, like the whole online stuff was weird, but like I don't recall anything online, at least at that period, which was like people were like memeing it or making fun of it,
like betting money on it.
It was weird. Like
I don't know. I feel like something like the Thai cave rescue that set like the groundwork. I mean, you still had,
to be fair, that was kids, so it's a little different. But
that was kids.
What if they were rich kids though, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
aristocratic kids.
All I remember is like I remember having this conversation where me and my mate watched like a documentary on the Thai cave, the Thai cave rescue, which is if you don't know,
it's fucking crazy, that story.
Insane.
Yeah, if
we were speaking about this the other week, I remember.
And you just see the image of just how far deep,
dude, it's
these school kids had found themselves.
Let me show you, because have you seen how deep
I've seen it, yeah.
It's so fun.
Like, I knew it was deep, but I was like, holy shit.
And I'm just like, how the fuck do you find yourself in this position? It's like, so if you don't know, like a bunch of like Thai school kids.
Like look how fucking deep they were.
Yeah. Found themselves
3,000 meters.
Okay, see
from the entrance.
See the thing, like 3,000 meters. That's like, to me, that's like a number, you know. But seeing like the graphic of just showing how far they walked in from the entrance, it just fucking blew my mind because I'm like, this ain't like a wrong turn you took right here.
Like there was never a moment during that 3,000 kilometer hike where you're like, maybe we should turn back.
Well, I don't think I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was just like the cave had changed because of the rain.
It started raining, and then they realized they couldn't turn back after a point.
Yeah, because
But
it
I'm-
pulled in, right?
Yeah, but I'm just like, why were you that deep in before you realized you couldn't turn back to begin with?
Yeah.
That was what I was thinking. And then they were just like so fucking deep in, and then it was actually like a pretty amazing story where you had the right people at the right time. Just
Some fucking British bloke,
side. Just some
Barry, he's
British-
just happened to be there. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm like one of the best cave divers in the world.
Yeah.
Another bee.
yeah, Elon Musk called someone a pedophile, and then the kids got rescued.
I love how he was like, oh, I'll build a sub to save them. The guy was like, that doesn't make any sense. And he's like, well, you're a pedo. It's like, whoa, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
And then you have events like that leading on to like this Titanic event where it just feels like all of the limiters just got like fucking released.
Well, I think it's reflective of the online sphere and where it's at right now, where people are just fucking unhappy and people are just not feeling great.
The thing is, I don't think it was like this time, because most of the time it was like limited to online, but sometimes this one was just like everyone. You'd open up like a news broadcast, and there would literally be news broadcasts with like a countdown of like how much oxygen the sub has left. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? A game show? like
That's fucked
It is
up.
morbid, but
Yeah,
I guess like in the news thing, that's like the hook, right? That's the story.
Yeah.
Come check back in again. 'cause
Come check back
they
in
only
again.
have
It's
this
like,
much
oh, they've got like 12 hours of oxygen.
It's like a stamina wheel, like in a video
But
game.
they did this, maybe they didn't have the graphics and the fancy editing. But
Yeah.
They had this with the caves and the thing. They were like, with the Thai cave, I think they had like a few days of oxygen. They were counting that down, right? Because it's just like people want to know what's
the hook.
Not the hook, but for like the news things, but for like the people doing the rescue, it's like this is legitimately just the time frame that we have. And for some people, that becomes very morbid, and for others, it's very helpful. It's weird. Definitely showed a side of the internet which was very bizarre.
Yeah.
It was to me. It was like very bizarre. Some people had like a very you shouldn't be acting this way, or some people shouldn't be commenting this way. I feel like in a lot of ways, memes are just how this generation has
Like
coped
cope, yeah, it's the cope.
with the kind of like the hands they've been dealt. So, I had like my own personal reaction to it, and but I find it more interesting just to see like the entire range of coverage and reaction you saw from like under the sun, because it almost after a point it almost was like self-serving. There was this event, and then there was people reacting to the event, and then there was people reacting to people reacting to the event, and people reacting to people reacting to people reacting to
That's
the event.
why it blew up so much.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
such a
exactly.
story, and everyone was talking about it.
And then at the end of the day, there was more conversation about people were talking about the event than it felt like the event itself.
Yeah.
And it was such a weird kind of like news cycle to see if like unfold right before my eyes. But I guess that's kind of the way like the modern landscape has coped with like big events.
Yeah. I mean, the pandemic was the exact same thing, right? Like, just think of the amount of fucking sometimes hilarious, sometimes horribly offensive memes that came out of that, So it's like, I just think that's just how it's going to be.
I
from now on.
can't believe, and I'm still in awe that because it was $250,000 a ticket to go to
Yeah.
the submarine. There's a billionaire saw this sub, paid the $250K, was getting in, and he was like, "This is fine." I saw the sub. I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, it was.
You are
It was a Lego
billionaire.
construction.
Yeah.
You could build the sub, a much more comfortable version of this.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Jesus.
And the fact that he brought his son along was so fucking tragic.
Yeah.
And then, like, the one thing that was super interesting about this was just learning more about the whole submarines and that whole kind of what, like, that industry or market or whatever it looks like. Because people are like, yeah, these dudes are kind of wild. They just kind of made their own sub and said it was good. They didn't check with any regulatory body if it
Well,
was safe.
they said that some of the parts were like engineered by like NASA people and shit like that, and I was just like, I mean,
Yeah, there's some engineered shit in my desk.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean,
um,
sure, but that's not an excuse, or that's not a reason to be like, yeah, this is operational. This looks fine.
Yeah, because they like mixed like carbon fiber and titanium, which is like a big no-no. Because they don't work well together, and I think there's other stuff that doesn't make sense.
You
But the guy-
definitely went down the submarine engineering.
I
rabbit
did. I
hole,
loved
didn't
it.
you?
It's super interesting because there was basically just this guy who had made the sub was like literally his entire pitch was trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it worked for however many it worked, but it was like, okay, well, I mean, that seems more like a miracle that it worked and that it didn't explode before. But the fact that the guy was so confident in this that he was the one operating it and in there is wild to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, I think that's the only thing about the thing that, I mean, it'd be super fucked if he had made this sub and was like, yeah, you go in it.
Yeah.
And then he was.
And then he wasn't.
Not saying that the dude had to die or anything like that, but like the fact that he was willing to be like, I am willing to say that
He's just Mr. Burnsing on the
Yeah.
shore.
yeah. It's like no refunds. But it's weird. I just can't believe that anyone would get in that sub. That's actually insane. You'd have to pay me $250K to be in that sub for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Let alone in the fucking water. Holy shit.
And the fact that Mr. Beast got an offer as well to get in on that shit. Did you
That's
see that?
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was funny, that whole drama that was
Yeah.
like, he sent it to himself. He's like,
Yeah, but all this has done is just heightened my fear of like deep water and thalassophobia, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that I'm not alone in that. I'm glad so many people fear the ocean like I do. That's why I don't think I can like. I think after this, I've always like I've been on the cusp of
you're
being
done
like,
with the ocean. You're like, I'm done.
I'm done with the ocean. I was like, maybe scuba diving would be cool.
I want
maybe
scuba dive.
I want
scuba
to
dive.
scuba dive.
Yeah.
And then you just hear like, I think the internet has just ruined me because I've known of like, I see so many horror stories of like different
Oh, yeah, I
scuba
love
diving
those.
things.
Yeah.
And like the wildest thing is just that, you know, this idea of being trapped underwater and having to like surface slowly at a time, no matter
Decompress,
what,
yeah.
unless you get decompression sickness. And I'm like, nope, I am never going that deep. I will draw the line at snorkeling. This is as far as I will go. If I can't see the bottom, I am not going there, baby.
I love how they call it decompression sickness, but it's like, hey, you'll just explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sick. It's really sick.
Yeah. Hey, gas will just like start, but your blood will just start bubbling. You know. That's
Dude, did you ever see that? It was like a ship, and it was like an oil ship or something, and there was some boats around it, and they were trying to do something, and there's a giant fucking storm, and the ship overturned and sank to the bottom, but there was an air pocket in the ship where this dude was just.
I've seen this
surviving.
one. Yeah.
Right.
But he was like on the ocean floor.
Yeah.
Like, and he obviously didn't have any gear or anything. So they had to like, this guy who had literally survived in the cold ass water on the bottom of the ocean, was just chilling in this room.
Yeah.
And they sent some divers. I don't know how. I wasn't like crazy deep, but they sent some divers to just double check that there was no one else alive,
Yeah.
because this sometimes happens that it overturns some
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
rooms. You know,
Yeah.
all the air gets trapped. And this is a video on YouTube of the diver going into the ship, and he's just searching. And this guy is above the water, otherwise he'd freeze and die. He's on something. And then the diver, a hand just grabs the diver. And it's this dude who'd been living there for like 3 or 4 days.
Jesus.
No food or anything, just
Yeah.
like freezing in this room. And they managed to save him, I think.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Also, I can't imagine being the diver at that point because that
I would shit myself.
I would literally shit myself. That I would like fear shit in that moment. That would have been the biggest jump scare of my entire life. Imagine going to a shipwreck at the bottom of the ocean and then you feel
a hand-
something grab you. Holy shit! That is the thing of like
that's
horror
a
stories,
nightmare.
man.
Watching these divers' camera, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
They only see dust, and they're just listening to a guy on comms direct
Yeah.
them through the blueprints. It's like, this is fucked. This is so fucked. Like the
Yeah.
fact that you have to navigate this, and this is someone's job, and people aren't like freaking out 24/7.
Well, at least
Like,
they took a
it's
diver
insane.
down instead of a sub. Right? Yeah.
Well, the problem is if you do a sub down, you can't get shit out. Like,
Yeah.
you know, how are you gonna get someone out?
Yeah.
So it was crazy, and I think they had to like basically teach this guy how to use the mask and decompress and go up. Oh, it's crazy.
Jeez. The fact that he survived is insane.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he survived. Yeah, it's kind of fucked.
Fucking hell.
Have you guys ever been on any cruises or anything like
No,
that?
that's fuck no, no.
Maybe when I'm like 70 or 80.
No,
But not-
cruises seems like
not
the
now.
worst thing ever.
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice if you're like at a retired state where you're just like, oh,
I-
I've got
even
nothing
then,
to do,
I-
no time.
I-
I'm not talking about like, you know, fucking weeks long cruises. Like that would just be torturous. Like
Yeah.
maybe like a few days at most. Right?
Yeah.
No.
Then I'd be like, you know, I can just chill on like a nice boat deck for a few days, go in the pool, maybe bathe in the sun. You know, I'm in a retired state right now. I've got nothing to worry about, kind of thing. That would be nice, but like those like week long cruises, bro, I think I would go insane.
Yeah, because you're literally just obviously trapped on the boat.
Yeah.
With just like, I don't know.
It's no different to being like trapped in a building for like 2 weeks, you know?
Also,
like,
I don't think I could ever be fully comfortable just being on like the ocean that long. I don't know. Is that a weird mental thing? Because I'm like
really
plane.
You're on like a skyscraper on the ocean.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like barely like it's so those things are huge.
Yeah,
because like 5 times the size of the Titanic.
Yeah, I'm like plane. That's fine. I'm in the air. That makes more sense to me than being like on the water for some reason.
well, what are you afraid of? Of the ship sinking?
Yeah, actually, yeah. At least with a plane crash, it's like a quick death. You know. I'm just saying.
I mean,
you
not
know?
all the time.
I mean,
There's been plane crashes where people survive
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been plane crashes
and
where
probably
people
died
survive.
agonizingly.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
There's been
Yeah.
those.
So there's like no difference.
Okay, but like I feel like you know
you
know
just want to skydive.
yeah I do want to skydive actually. It's like jumping out of a plane. Okay, I vibe with that.
Yeah.
Getting in a huge body of water, no. Get that shit away from me.
Goddamn.
No, because like there's like so many things like watching videos of just massive waves hitting oil rigs.
Oh, it's fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Because you just realize the amount of energy that's just like encapsulated in
But
some of these.
a cruise ship isn't going to go through that shit. They'll be like, we
I
might
mean, yeah.
expect,
never know.
we're
You
expecting
never know.
some
You never know.
turbulence.
That's what they said about the Titanic, Joey. Unsinkable, yeah? Unsinkable, Joey. And look what happened there.
Shit, you're right.
What I'm learning is you should just stay off the ocean, Gone.
Yeah, I just should just stay off the ocean.
Really ironic. It's the fact that you used to live near a body of water like your whole life.
Okay, I love beaches. I just hate the ocean. I love seeing the ocean. The ocean is there to be seen,
Yeah.
not be trodden on.
Right.
You know?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, have you heard about like rogue waves and shit like that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, what's that?
Like okay, as much as I fear the ocean, I do genuinely find it fascinating to like read about.
There's this concept that waves can only be as big as they, like they recorded it. But there's been like accounts and they've recorded these anomaly waves that are like giga waves.
Right. Yeah.
Like one giant, not a tsunami, not caused by a tsunami.
Not
or
a
anything like
tsunami,
that.
just a normal
like
wave.
These giant fucking waves that are like 20 times or 10 times the height of what the wave should be.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're like these are like life-ending waves.
Yeah, and I don't think there is a scientific explanation for them or a proper scientific explanation for them. Yeah,
Right.
But yeah, to go on what Connor said, like it was like calculated years ago. This is the highest,
100 meters tall.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
That have not been able to be explained about why these waves can exist, and these are called rogue waves. And I find them.
I'm scared of the ocean, huh?
I am scared of the ocean, man. I find it fascinating. Though.
It's cool. It's
Yeah.
super interesting. The
Yeah,
ocean.
it's super
You
interesting.
hear about those like giant squids and shit too.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah. Those
yeah.
are fucking cool, though.
Yo, don't tell Japan about those.
It's like,
Yo, do not let Japan know.
how big you say?
Everyone else is like, stay away from the fucking giant. It's dangerous. Japan's like, all right, boys, we're eating.
Feed a whole nation with that thing.
Yo, we're feeding the family and the entire town with this. Let's go.
Yeah, because isn't it like they've only, before they actually got footage of the giant squid, I think it's like the only evidence that they had that this thing might exist is because they've seen whales be beached up with these like huge fucking marks on them after a fight, and they figured out
That's
that it's
fucking
like a
metal as
giant
shit, man.
cephalopod or something.
Yeah.
It's so sick.
And then they finally got footage of it like a few years ago, and it's
Yeah.
like, it just looks like straight out of fucking Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's
Like
fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
Ocean's
fucking-
so scary.
Fucking sperm whales, right?
Yeah.
Like who, you said giant squids, and I think sperm whales like generally hunt giant squids.
Yeah.
Like apparently like their click is like so loud that if they clicked when you were next to it, it could literally like vibrate you to death.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or at least at the very least burst your eardrums.
Yeah.
And I see clips of divers close to sperm whales getting footage, and I'm like, you are taking one big fucking risk, man.
I saw that near like there was divers near. They'd accidentally seen like a submarine, and they obviously didn't realize when they posted it. But like if the submarine like pinged its sonar, it would have like completely like probably killed them.
Yeah.
I think it would
Goddamn.
immediately burst like a lot of their like rupture a lot of their organs because it's so powerful. The
Yeah.
sonar, it's
Jesus.
terrifying.
And I'm like, why are you taking that risk? What if whales can't sneeze? What if they have an itch somewhere like that? What if they're just like, you know,
what if a whale just like farts and you just explode from the shockwave? Just from the
shockwave.
shockwave.
Oh, it's like some anime shit, like a Nen blast. Like, oh, you fucking rupture, start coughing up blood. You're like, oh, Sasuke.
It's the most powerful fart in the universe.
But that was our topical episode of the month, I guess. That was fun.
If you want to see more, then let us know.
Yeah, I'm glad we decided to do this because I was just like, I'm not gonna lie, I was hooked on the submarine thing, but just hooked in just like because it felt like I was watching a TV episode, like right.
Yeah, I really wish they made it out because it would have been such a good ending.
Yeah.
But life is never a good story until it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of good stories, hey, look at these patrons though.
Speaking of good stories, the story to buy my merch, and by my, I mean the boys, by going to trashtaste.co as well. Do that.
Yes.
Go there right now. This is your last chance, 2 weeks until it's gone, so get it right now.
Yes.
Not coming back, so get it.
But if you don't care about the merch, then you can always support us on
about.
Patreon by going to patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us some memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.